I will say though, Forsaken was talking about in the press conference how he's only worn his bracelet once. He did not bring it to Paris. It's just at home, locked away in a safe because, you know, they don't want to bring it. And Kong Kong's exactly the same.
Yeah,
he did not bring his bracelet.
But honestly, yes, valuable. You don't want a thing to happen to it. That's in the past. That was that is an entirely different tournament. It's an entirely different year, and this is the stage that they're playing on now. And so honestly, like from a competitive perspective and a mindset, I love that. That was done long ago. This is a new stage. This is a new tournament, and you still have something to prove here.
I love that because maybe a player who could be the present and future of Valorant, Patman, is joined by Mika Fabs. Let's see what he had to say.
Check.
Mika Fabs here, and I am with Patman. Patman, I will English you first, okay? I want to ask you, you started out this year as a rookie, and now you are a Masters champion, and your team is here at Valorant Champions Paris, expected to be one of the teams to win it all. How are you keeping up? How are you coping? Sumusobra ba? Nakaka-overwhelm ba?
To be honest, we're not pressuring ourselves. We're happy to be here among like almost 40 plus teams in the world, and we're like here like top 16 teams, so it's just really a big achievement for us to be here, and for us to keep it like how to be consistent is like just have fun still and don't pressure ourselves, of course.
Eager to see that fun on stage. Good luck.
I hope he gets to enjoy this stage. Of course, it's going to be his first time at Champs. Of course, you know, he was tweeting about how excited that Taylor Swift is dropping an album while he's in Paris. Hopefully, that's a good omen. That's going to push him forward. But they do have to get past an opponent here first today on their debut here, which, of course, is going to be XLG. For them, though, the pressure is crazy because, as you guys can see on this graphic, and of course, I want you to focus on the championship points, because the Ascension winners, DRG and XLG, they're going to be battling to see who's going to remain in VCT for next year. Whoever makes it the furthest in this tournament in Paris will get to keep their spot, and the other team will have to fight through Ascension. In the event that both teams get knocked out at the exact same stage because of the championship points, XLG will get to remain. And we've never had this situation before. This is entirely new for us.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy that one of these teams is going to have to fight for it. But for XLG, because of how well they did back in stage 1, that's why they have the advantage. Keep in mind, this team, well, they're coming in as the 4th seed to this tournament. They dominated China in stage 1, dropped 1 series on, went on that huge run, had higher expectations going into Toronto, and then lost to 2 American teams back-to-back, didn't win a map, bombed out, and since then, it has not been that same story for the squad.
And I think that kind of pressure, that's something that slips through the cracks. That's something that shows up on the stage, and that's a lot. That's a lot to wrestle through. And then you think about each of their respective first-round matchups, you're talking about a night and day difference. This is a tough thing you have to climb through.
I will say the caveat is they did play with a sub last time they were at a global event. This time around, they're actually coming in with the guy that they've been playing with during the regular season.
Exactly. And I also think it's important to say that while they're coming in as the 4th seed, it's not like they were scraping by on championship points. They lost to DRG and EDG, 2 teams above them. Where is that man?
Noman. It's actually, they're playing with Noman.
There's no man.
There is no man.
Oh, there's the man.
I will say, though, I want to just glaze Noman for a second. I freaking love him. I'm so happy that he's getting his shot in Tier 1. And for people that are really upset about Wolves not making it, wanting to see Sufat BB, he brings really similar vibes. He is that guy. He's always got a smile on his face. He loves standing up. He loves giving it. And so a lot of the times when his teammates are clutching and doing crazy things, and they are a little bit more shy, they don't want to trash talk, Noman will stand up and do it for them. He does this when he's like bottom fragging. I love it so much, and I think he will 100% make the most out of this stage here in Paris.
You're completely selling me on him, because like you tell me all that, I now love him outside of the game and outside of what he's doing in the server, but I also think he's just one of the most versatile players inside the server. He plays every single agent under the sun. He'll play a Raze, he'll play a Chamber, he'll play all the other Sentis. He's got the odd Sky he'll bust out on Bind. Like, no one can really hit every single agent in the game like he can.
Yeah, his agent pool is insane. I think a lot of the intangibles into that you were just talking about are also hard to measure. I mean, I guess that's why they're called intangibles, but those are things that make a difference on a global run. And so I think if there is somebody who is kind of going to get them over this bump, if there is an X factor, if you will, that might give them a shot here against the heavyweights of PRX, it would be this cat getting out of his seat.
You need a hee-hee-ha-ha vibes, man. You just do. And I think Noman will be that guy.
That's what he's bringing?
Yeah.
I love it.
He's not bringing any man, but he's bringing the vibe.
Right, okay.
But we do have to talk about, I think, probably the best player on the team. And for me, maybe even the best player in VCT CN behind YZ right now, which is Happyway. He's so good.
Happy was insane.
Yeah, but even when XLG won that good, like you said on the global stage, he was good.
Yeah, he was still like the player going positive in a couple of those games. And I think that Happyway, for me, because he's usually playing on the defense side in particular, I think is where he can take over. He's usually playing on the weak side of the map. He'll have maybe one other guy next to him, and he'll take the slightest of pixel angles. But he is so quick on his reaction speed that he's still finding kills. He's almost never going to go down just for free on that side of the map. He is so hard to dislodge on the sides of the map that he's anchoring.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is showing the team's trust in him and the fact that they continue to put him in positions like that where he is often without resources, where he is often without help, and he's asked to hold down a site, hold down a side of the map, essentially by himself, or maybe with a little bit of support. And so for Happyway to be able to continually deliver in those hard positions is another part that XLG will have to rely on if they want to best PRX today.
They might just have to, as in PRX, they don't need this, but they might have to see Ned this play a little bit, like find Happyway and be like, oh, let's just run to the other side, just to, give them the best chance. But then again, I don't even think PRX need any advice from me specifically.
No,
to have
I don't think they're listening right now.
To win a game.
I mean, they don't even listen to their coach. They're just gonna...
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely Happyway a massive
win condition.
Braga, however, we're going to talk about him in a second. Because now, he spoke to Mika Fabs a little bit earlier.
Hey guys, Mika Fabs here, and I'm here with Raga of XLG. Now, Raga, as the duelist on the XLG squad, and you are now going head-to-head with a team that is notorious for playing like 5 duelists. How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling great, because I can play versus them on the one stage. So I want to show I'm not like someone else, and I can beat them maybe.
Should be exciting. Good luck.
When it comes to the duelist, though, the other players that play his role, it is a really tough competition. I know Ender last time he spoke to you about how he didn't think he was the best. In fact,
he's my humble king. Yeah, I was like, I asked him in Toronto, like, where do you see yourself stacking up with the other duelists in the tournament? And he was like, last. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I have to prove myself, like he has to do that first. And I think Toronto for him was a bit of a miss, and he's going to be coming in now with a lot more to prove himself personally.
I do think even the approach that he had in that conversation was notably different to the one he had with you, where he was like, yeah, I am thankful for the opportunity to play on the stage and to show them that I'm not just another guy.
Yeah.
And I do think
I'm now the second one. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, maybe. And it's tough because this might be the most lopsided opening match that we will have, and so
I mean, Masters winners were the 4 seed.
Right, like there is a massive gap between these two teams, but they do have a little bit of like, we want to show them that we belong.
It's champs. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. And for now, it's time to reveal the results of our MasterCard fan poll. Earlier, we asked you which region was going to take home the Champions Paris Trophy, and the results are in. 63% of you said that Pacific will win champs. Honestly, I was one of the 63%.
I mean, that checks out.
Then we've got Americas with 20, EMEA with 14, and CN with 3. Now, the last time y'all underestimated CN, who won champs 2024 again?
I don't remember.
Who was it?
I don't know. Do
you
recall? I don't recall.
That's what I thought. So 3% I think is really low.
You're saying that, and you voted for Pacific, which makes sense because they won kickoff.
Mark Phillips instigating from the other side of the desk. What is this?
Crazy.
But let's take a look at the predictions.
Why didn't you predict XLG, Yansu?
Because I was looking at the global power ranking powered by AWS, and I was like, oh, this is telling me PRX has a better chance.
Yeah, to clarify, in the top left next to Achilleos, our prediction king, GPR global power ranking, this will basically just put whoever is higher in that global power ranking will predict them through. So because PRX is rated higher than XLG, they're chosen, and Sentinels over Giant X also going to get locked in there. So we also get a battle against the power ranking.
Are you surprised that your fellow America's caster Sideshow decided to betray Sen?
He's not from Americas anymore. Yeah, no.
Have you heard him talk?
What happened?
Yeah.
No, I've never actually heard him talk. Now you mentioned it.
Predicting against Sentinel.
Never listened to it.
Naughty.
I just mute him normally. Yeah, is it really that skewed, you think? Because the first match, you know, as you said, Sen XLG, PRX XLG pretty PRX favor, but is Sen the overwhelming favorite for the second one?
I don't think to the same degree. No, I think that match is going to be a lot closer. And I think, again, like Christy was saying, we're talking about Masters 2 winners versus the number 4 seed out of China. That, it just feels like a massive gap. But between those two teams in the second match, I think it will be a lot more competitive.
Third seed is a fluke from Sentinels. They're going to come in hot.
Oh,
I'm a believer.
Oh, wait, you mean like they should have been higher seed?
Yeah.
When you say fluke, it makes it sound like they should have been lower.
No.
Yeah.
But
I would never.
I think people agree with that. I think it's just
jangan lupa klaim ya ini.
We'll find out later because that's the second game. Our teams have fought tooth and nail to make it all the way to the champions. And for PRX, XLG, GX, and Sentinels, today is where their run will begin. What happens here could make or break their chances for a title. So please join me and kick off day 1 of Champ Paris.
Ya, gue udah klaim yang ini udah kan. Pas runner 2 udah. Oh, ternyata edit Iran ya. Udah sih yang worth it kayaknya Ghost Runner aja sih. Mau main Valde sama Politopi. Ya nggak apa-apa sih, nambah koleksi kan. Gratisan lumayan coy.
Pourquoi brûlons-nous?
WhatsApp gua, cok.
Pour l'amour.
Tarzo.
At the beginning, I was just playing in the shadows. I had a tough time with my career. I was going to retire. I was already planning to go to the real life, working as a lawyer. Then I found Valorant, and everything changed. Through all the dark times, you just keep chasing this indescribable feeling. It's like a love story that I started and was eager to continue. Reminded me of why I was chasing my dream.
Wah, aku
I think that's the beauty of the game.
I've loved and I've lost.
Apa gua giniin ya? Buset nih jadi kecil banget, cok.
That I can count. Defeat after defeat.
Wih, gila Jason.
Loss after loss.
Santos blood, bro.
But now it's our time.
Parfois.
Tapi PRX gila sih. Kalau performnya sama kayak kemarin, gue yakin bisa juara, cok, mereka, cok. Enggaknya 4 besar bisa sih harusnya. Kalau performnya sama kayak kemarin ya.
Pain.
Pain. Itami o kanjiru.
The ache of standing inches from victory. The knife twist of nearly.
The angel of death has descended on heretics.
We're still under the shadow of last year.
Tim heretik.
And it only takes one shape.
Nih,
revenge.
Tim satu ini jago banget sih, nggak bohong sih. Tapi jujur gue nggak terlalu suka sama mereka. First impression gue ke mereka jelek banget aja. Kayak bangsat gitu.
L'amour. Il a bâti des royaumes, puis les a réduits à néant. La passion brûle comme le feu, sans discernement.
Anjay, Wood sakit bro.
2024, my world champion brothers left
Oh
me.
iya, Demon sekarang di G2 ya?
I didn't know where I belonged anymore.
Nggak jauh Gemo bro.
G2
Ini jauh Gemo kan?
was waiting for me at the doors. And now that I'm back,
Ini jauh Gemo bukan
who
sih?
the real world champ was.
J'encaisse les fonds pour les mini-mi. Je donne de l'inspi pour many men. Donc on continue le taf, on élimine. Ça paraît grand jeu. Un coup de fil, je les minimise. On vise et on fait les mises. Je travaille comme deux. Toujours en eau, je rentabilise. Je baisse, je me stabilise. Je me stabilise. Le temps passe, le temps passe.
Chaque pas que nous
Gila,
faisons,
pas.
Le temps passe.
chaque instant que nous portons,
Le temps passe, j'encaisse. Le temps passe.
charge notre balle la plus meurtrière.
Jadi syutingnya di mana coy? Keren juga anjing.
Mais ces échos ne résonnent pas que dans les ruines. L'amour s'épanouit dans les recommencements.
Yeah, I'd love to win a trophy with you.
Why is that?
Because we're old. And normally, like, it's the youngsters that, like, dominate the game. But it's nice to see that you've proven that you
Umurnya
still
berapa
got it.
sih Boster coy?
We've had players come and go. And it's been tough for those players that have gone to get back to the top.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. But
Yeah. So I'm pretty happy we could start our journey again. You're a fun teammate.
thank you, man.
Probably one of my most fun teammates, but don't be telling the other boys that because Alfie will be getting jealous.
No, don't leave Boster, no.
여기 왔네. 사실 이전의 챔피언스들이랑 좀 다른 느낌이긴 해.
Ya, mereka bener-bener bikin short film aja.
처음에 챔스 진출했을 때는 솔직히 내가 여기에 있을 정도인가라는 생각이 들었어. 널 보면은
You're worth it
내
Mako,
생각이다.
gila sih.
너가 첫 챔피언스기도 하고 너한테 부담이 될 수 있겠지만 너가 DRX 미래거든.
You are the future of the Eric. Udah. Di champion depan udah pindah tim. Aduh. Kocak sih. Woi bang, pakai mic-nya dulu bang. Wih, RRQ, let's go. RRQ bos. Kingdom bro. FIFA RRQ。
他现在逢人都会说他弟弟是个世界冠军，他会很开心。我觉得这东西如果今天能赢下来的话，都不是我们末潮了。我觉得就是有潜力了，是吧？不是，我是觉得哥几个就要算就算大的。
Liga Cico. Itu siapa anjir?
Quand ce lien prend racine,
Baru dengar ya? Cico.
il défie l'impossible.
Les 16 meilleures équipes du monde se sont réunies ici à Paris. Le désir brûlant d'être les meilleurs.
Il se propage.
Ini mereka syutingnya di Paris ya?
Il endure.
Oh, di mana sih?
Le Valorant rassemble tous ces valeurs.
Il se bat.
To be the best, you have to sacrifice everything you have. You can never think about going
PRX. Buset, pecah cuy.
I've done it.
Hypok. Gila, sinematiknya keren sih coy. Let's go. Beri kami match yang mengguncang hari pertama PRX. Let's go. Woo!
XLG wanted an opportunity to prove themselves on the global stage. Who better then PRX to answer to.
Tapi ini kalau PRX kalah lucu sih, nggak bohong sih. Kalahnya sama XLG coy. Aduh.
The map vetoes are going to be very interesting as we head to the first match of Champs Paris, and surely this is PRX's to lose.
Of course, I mean, coming off the back of that Masters Toronto win, every single team coming into this tournament has been looking at PRX, has been looking at figuring out a way to take them down, and now we've got those vetoes coming in.
Hold on, Doug. It's XLG that choose to go to bind.
Yeah, I think they are just really confident in the waylay that they've been running, that they introduced last time against an undefeated PRX on bind. I'm inclined to agree with you. Also, real quick, looking further down the road, Sunset means Sage, means buffs as well.
Yeah, it definitely does. But I do want to focus in on this bind for just a minute because it is very interesting. XLG had not played bind at all in stage 2.
Gua awalnya ragu ya sama Asennya, cuman kemarin Asennya PRX strong banget sih, gila sih, nggak expect sih gua. Pacific kemarin sih strong banget sih.
And it was the map they won against DRG, so it's certainly a choice to start things off here, but they're trying to sort of come in with something a little bit different against PRX.
And I think a lot of it is bringing good against good. They're obviously confident in it. They're not shying away from, again, like you mentioned, Christy, all of PRX's maps are going to be good. Right, they're one of the best teams in the world. They dominate their region domestically, but also, you know, you're going into the Lion's Den. You know you're going into an undefeated map for PRX, and you think this is your most confident hit. They have to deliver here.
I am also curious for XLG because they banned the Lotus, a map that PRX have actually lost on in stage 2, and this is a map where
ini Giant
X,
X,
a crazy triple sentinel composition, and I'm wondering if they're just done with Lotus in its entirety, or if it's specifically they don't want to run that more passive setup up against the behemoths of PRX.
I also love how ballsy this bind pick is because if we talk about preparations, right? I know Mini, was helping out with PRX as well. If you want to prepare for a map veto like this, there is no way in hell you thought XLG were going to pick bind. There is zero chance.
No chance. And even if you did, you only have one map of tape to go off of, and that was a month ago.
I mean, I think that sometimes that is how you beat the Titans like PRX. You have to take a risk. You have to be ballsy in situations like this. But, and to put your coach's hat on for a second, how?
It's on. I've donned it.
How on earth? Now they picked it. How do they beat PRX on bind?
That's a great question.
How do they do it?
Ultimately, I think that I want to see how good they can be on the defensive side of things up against PRX. I think bind is a map that on defense often comes down to tandem play. 2 players on a site, especially towards B, working hand in hand with one another. And you have to be locked in as a duo to hold against a team that is going to be so explosive.
I do think as Agent Select is coming up here in just a moment.
Yes, live Agent Select, of course. So PRX is still hovering. No, everybody's locked in. Nothing too surprising except for the fact that we spoke about the waylay that whole time and they're just gonna bin it instantly.
I don't know if I like that or hate it, to be honest. I am not a big waylay believer. To be very candid with you guys, I don't necessarily love the pick, so I love that they've moved away from it independent of itself, right? But the problem is you're going against one of the best teams in the world. This is not a surprising different comp. This is drilled and true.
I'm going to be honest though, I don't care. I think
Race is a better agent, and I
do really like being able to combo the Gecko and the Sky. I think Gecko being able to put down Wingman to plant and have 5 guns out to fight PRX on site. PRX, if you watched Sideshow's video, you know they're a team that flood into site and fight you heavily.
Ya kayak yang gue bilang tadi kan.
The benefit of not having to force someone to be a plant bot is going to be nice.
Yeah, it just surprises me for me because Raga, you don't normally associate with him with playing a lot of raids. It's everything else, other than that. But that is it. We have everything locked, map ready to go, agents ready to go. So it's time to introduce our casters. Show some love for Mitchman and Tombiz.
Let's go, bro.
Thank you very much, Valorant Champions live from Paris, and what a game to kick us off, Tom. PRX versus XLG. It's fair to say there are some expectations when it comes to this matchup.
Yeah, it turns out when you have a team that won the last international event facing off against a team who's never won a map at an international event, it puts it down to a fairly one-sided looking affair. But I do think XLG coming into this, there can be quite an awkward team to play against. Now, obviously, it's at times a little bit sad to maybe not see the waylay. That was what made them a little bit different. But I like the Rays. I think it's a better choice overall on this map. And well, coming into their map choice, they need to prove why they've taken us to bind in the first place.
And speaking about something to prove, I think there's Rarga We heard it in the interview. He wants to
Ayo
show
something
that
yuk, menyala yuk, kayak kemarin yuk.
to battle out with the best, able to take down PRX, and he is happy to just play on a stage against them. But I think he wants a little bit more than that. Show that he can dominate them. For PRX, expectations are clear, as we said. This should be a series that they are winning. We'll see whether XLG can put a bump in the road early as doors be long. There's a stack up of defenders ready and waiting for this fight, but Nomad and Rarka, they take it into the lead.
Nice.
XLG, a surprise swing from Divide, though. They're not expecting 4 players there. Why would you? And now it's down to a 2v2.
2v2, let's go. Bisa ya.
Really having a good read initially, but I feel like considering that stack up, XLG have come out of it all right. A little bit wary of the positioning of the player. I want to make sure they can get that
sengaja apa enggak itu?
without too much
kayaknya
of a problem. Now there's been
sengaja ya
progression out from Divide as well towards that A site, just to make sure that they haven't rotated in. And Happyway now winning the battle puts it down to just Divide and a good chance for an afterplant.
Yeah, he's taking the TP as well, so they've got the info before the plant goes down, can reposition, go for backside, and they're nice and safe, tucked away. The drop down will be when Divide eventually goes for it, dropping the ball, and that's the round gone with it. XLG start this out with a win.
Yeah, a solid start from that. As said, it was mentioned by Ender just moments ago, the way that they have this sort of aggressive style on the paper.
Good start.
Tries to disrupt you from getting the plant to begin with. So that early fight towards B-Long look to do just that. But the fact is XLG managed to sort of hold on to their position. Come on! And then even find those isolated
kalem bro, baru satu round kocak.
Rounds like that, they're going to be worth their weight in gold because, as we said, in terms of who's favorites here, PRX are miles ahead.
Yeah, when those rifles come out, but for now, PRX are left with a Sheriff and a Ghost. An attempt to go for that TP. Through being long to catch players in shower, but no one's there. Look how patient and passive XLG are being. Now they have a reason to play like this. They've only got 1 pistol brought into this. And that's Marshall, I suppose, that you can live or lose it, but 3 rifles in play. They can't afford to lose too many. And already seeing that PRX are willing to do this like 4-man early hold on B long, you have to be wary of another trap play. And that could do damage even in a round like this.
I like the fact that they are taking the time with their initiators to sort of scope out some potential aggressive spots, but with both pieces of that wingman utility already down, I think PRX can now make the read like, okay, no one's come to retrieve that. We should start pressuring this side of the map.
Timing.
Oh, it's not going to work out. Luckily, Coconut looks back at the last second. Well, I was going to say he gets an upgrade. He does not.
This is getting a little dangerous. 1 player down, another low. Jing's able to escape as well. You're still in this 3v4. Happyway's got a lot of control.
Gue yakin nggak expect itu. Gue yakin nggak expect itu.
The ones taking it. My question
udah
is how
mati
much damage can be done because Nomad already looking like
mati si Jason sih. Oh, disembok dong.
They can get that one-on-one, but first they've got to get past Happyway, and oh, what a shot! No danger from Forsaken anymore.
Yeah, luckily, versus the pistol, you'll sometimes get that second bite of the cherry. Patman obviously on the wrong side of the map, but it may come down to PRX just wanting to make sure they don't give too many orbs over to the other side. You can see Nomad already getting fairly close to having his ultimate if a kill or 2 extra goes his way, and I don't think with how they play, you don't want Seekers online. As they're going to get in your face, they're going to take map control. Seekers ruins that completely, so I think it will just be death to the spine. That will mean that those 4 guns are kept through into the next round, although the Marshal might be removed anyway.
Patman is trying to secure them, but that TP is going to be taken, and they will be far, far away.
Does he go in?
He's going through, and there's one!
Hampir dapat 2, cok.
Would have been beautiful. Yeah, it's only going to be the Marshal removed in the end. XLG.
Yang mati Coconut, mati siapa tadi?
Yeah, it's not bad. I think ultimately, if you'd lost the rifle, I think this was the timing. I was so ridiculously close to potentially just having the full force of PRX swinging in onto.
Anjir, lucky shot, coy.
Of course, we've seen some strong results. Obviously for PRX, I think it's over the last
lagi pada happy nih kayaknya nih.
So
belum Alex ngamuk, cok. Belum aja Alex ngamuk ya.
XLG versus DRG maybe is the reason. They were stellar on their defensive side, but then again we didn't get to see much of the attack.
Round 3, few upgrades over on XLG. They brought another rifle through. They've got a Bucky.
I was about to say, is the Bucky the upgrade?
And you know, you see, no, the other rifle, the 4th rifle is, to be clear, the Bucky is an interesting choice. On defense, you can see there's so many areas that you can use shotguns in, whether it be Lamps or Hookah. We've seen rounds won because of Judges, Buckies, or even Shorties.
Yeah.
But on attack, it's a little bit harder to find
yeah.
space to use that.
Well, yeah, he's currently using the Sheriff as a primary weapon and the Bucky as the backup. Maybe if they can get into some sort of post plant where he has his utility available, but they're just looking to put a little bit of pressure back towards long. Prowler will be used by Patman. So they will have a reasonable idea. Again, it seems like XLG's planning for the most of this is to try and sell a ruse on either side, and it's worked. They've kept 3 players over on A, they've put smokes in on that side of the map. It's whether or not the rest of the team now rotate in towards A, and whether or not PRX get back in time. They were halfway to the B side.
Of course, after losing all that B-long control and a player, now the rotates come back through, players flood the site, and PRX are here on time. They're ready for the battle, but the smokes are blocking them out as the plant goes down. Undeniable. Something, though, has managed to find 2. That should be mostly, if not all, through the smokes. Another from Jing, but they're holding on. They still have a chance on XLG. 2 players sitting inside a bathroom. The flash finds the first. Happy way good on the swing, but they know exactly where No Man is.
Gila, 2 combo anak Kumon ya.
Bocil Kumon. 8 HP with regen shields on Jing. The PRX are still going to find the round. Pretty costly, though, all in all.
Yeah, I don't mind the idea. Like, it's almost sold as a double fake. Like, you get that early kill after putting all your smokes in. It's an attempted ruse, and then you teleport back at the last second. I think the only actual problem, or the real spanner in the works, was Forsaken putting the Molotov. It means that the only space you're fighting from is the showers. Like, there's no other angle, even though you could see that PRX were diligent in checking those positions. I think they also had a snakebite late into the round. I do wonder if maybe that could have gone through a little bit sooner, but nonetheless, there's still going to be another purchase coming in for XLG. That was a bonus of sorts. And now there are some weaknesses on the side of PRX, a Stinger in play.
Gue baru sadar ya, si XLG juga nggak pakai Sentinel ya.
Monsters on the loose right away, something able to TP away, but lots of space taken. That gets them very early on XLG in towards Lamps. They haven't got control of it, but back through to take that space.
Hey, hello.
Look for this deep fight alongside his teammate Divide. The flash popped here.
On.
Close though. He's able to already find the first. Rarga from further back cleans up more, and XLG, they're looking phenomenal. The rifles in their hand, barely a scratch, and indeed a flawless round for XLG, the underdogs, but it doesn't look like it.
No, that was really, really clean from them. I think they almost lose Rarga on the way in initially, but other than that, just successful in taking those fights together, not allowing the sort of pressure of those sort of fight backs in.
Ini lagi ngaco anjir nge-picknya what the fuck.
It's surprising that there wasn't even a trade in the mix of it, like Tomatoes from his teammate, but ultimately
jelek banget anjir mainnya, Cok.
Done, and a huge early breakback, considering 2 players were only surviving in the last from his incredibly poor for PRX.
Kenapa ini PRX nih?
That's about as bad of a start as you could expect. And you think about pressure in this scenario, on one side of the stage for XLG, there's almost none. Losing to PRX, no one's going to question that. But on the other side, PRX, this is a game that
Gila, Alek udah ngamuk kah?
run here if you're going to continue to defend that title. Well,
Bro, ini
this one you'd almost want it to look clean. But
ini streamnya kenapa deh?
pulling out all the stops, and they've got a timeout from X. This pressure 5.
Ini dari sananya guys, sumpah guys. Dari sananya guys.
We know PRX. They're a squad that's capable of bouncing back.
Ini dari sananya guys. Dari streamnya nih, dari stream VCT-nya sih.
Like you said, the credits are going to be in tatters.
Nge-lag kan, tuh nge-lag tuh.
PRX, those are the kind of rounds they win.
Tuh nge-lag. L-stream.
I like the fact that
dari VCT-nya ya, dari VCT-nya bukan stream gua ya, bukan stream gua.
If there's any coach in the world that I have faith that he can spot the bad tendencies of its team, it is that man. I think there was a thing earlier, how early will he slam the desk? I don't know if we caught one within round 4.
Nggak kelihatan ya ini ya, mapnya ya.
The case just because of how clean that was. For now though, after
that
early check-in.
Tapi nama playernya nggak kelihatan coy.
You want to get these early starts, as said.
Berarti di sini kali ya.
They played in Toronto, they didn't manage a map. In fact, they weren't particularly close. The best scoreline they had was a 13-8 defeat to G2.
Kamera gua cok, jadinya.
But this is a new tournament with a different player within the roster. No Man, probably one of the few players that has played within the Chinese league and also played Northeast in EMEA. I don't think there's going to be too many of those.
Oh, the blind was so well timed. Forsaken was about to throw a spanner in the works up close with the Bucky. Tasted the same medicine XLG tried to feed their opponents just a few rounds ago. But the blind stopped any of that impact from coming through. XLG still sitting on full health, full shields on all players. Spike left back towards the spawn. This early posturing from the team is just about denying that control from PRX, finding the points of the map where they like to play aggressive, which I think by this point it's very clear to see it's B long. And then late on, making the decision on where they go.
But normally they have a look. That's the difference. Every other round they've had one player probing the other side of the map. Now, a TP back to the other side would be so risky when you don't have any space. So instead they are walking into the stacked up. That's where Jing is waiting. Showstopper popped as well.
Ya, gak kena dong.
What you were talking about. Just moments of madness coming in. Nomad 10 seconds to try and save the day. And he
gila-lagi Rosa ulti anjing. GG. Sumpah. Ultinya kagak pernah kena, cok. Sumpah dah, Jing tuh kalau pakai RS tuh ultinya tuh Rosa ult mulu, cok.
The Bucky, one of the heavier investments they had, it doesn't find much. It's taken out of play, and the pistols alongside the showstopper are what gets it done in the end. For PRX, well, that is certainly one way to correct the flow of the game, but XLG, even having a flawless round in the mix of rounds they won, they're in a decent position to still buy up into this one. They've got credits to their back, and the showstopper that made all the difference for Jing is now online for Rarga.
It's definitely a bit of a worrying sign. As I said, what they were doing in the, especially in their bonus round, they did very well to sort of like keep space on both sides of the map. And I think you see the problem if they don't. Like they didn't have that information. They went into the site blind.
Bro, smokernya nge-push, bro. Anjing.
Can thrive.
Gila.
But now at least.
Smokernya Jing yang keluar cok.
Claiming those orbs once again. Coconut is getting ever closer to having this thrash for the second time already in this match.
Ah, nice.
Round 6, a minute left on the clock. It's XLG's time to decide where they go. Big TP comes through. Still players around here in a deep push. It's already come through from Forsaken. He's looking for it. Gets flanked on, but not before he can take down Happy Way. Giving him a chance still as they push forward. The showstopper desperately searching for Jing. A connection that puts the advantage in their favor for just a moment. No man pulls it back, and a 2 versus 3 with the old pop by something. He's finding these players at least one spotted already. I don't know that he saw the bath fade away.
Satunya shower sih harusnya ketahuan sih.
The information. Divine knows there's a player around one of these corners, and they'll fight this together, but Rarga goes back. And XLG just need to buy time.
Got plenty.
That
need to be cleared. Divine needs to win this fight. They're going to have a chance. Rarga instant on the trigger. I think that's the moment that something realizes, okay, 3 players to find. I managed to get the first, but anything more than that, and my operator is at risk. So he's going to have to fade out of the round. Another victory for XLG, and honestly, after losing a round like they just did, a very good recovery.
Well, that's it. A wise man
once said it's not about how hard you can hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep on going. And for XLG, that previous round, that was a lights out connection to the jaw, but they managed to bounce back here and now, and it's even with some of these extra plays from PRX, sneaking a player straight down through mid, man behind enemy lines, and still they deal with him every step of the way, catching that flank as well early, and Rarga showing that he's got the brawn to deal with Devi early on.
Well, what I was going to say, that is still a bit worrying for me, that late TP. Because I don't mind the Sky Flash that cleared things out, but if Forsaken is looking the other way, that round could have gone very differently. So I think it's something to keep an eye on. XOG are gambling a little bit with some of their rotations, and this round, well, it's much more direct.
They're already taking so much space. Lamps pushed back by the nade, but they're going to stand on that corner ready for a double swing back in, and it's Jing to take 2. XLG down by 2 men. Spike lost as well. They have got a big fight on their hands, and the Prowler actually didn't re-clear anything that isn't being held already. The flash going through. There's no one following it up. They're burning utility here on XLG. They need to start winning fights and start winning them soon. There's 3 players on this spike. How can they possibly get it back? Fighting through those numbers, and one of the players up close has a judge in hand. This looks like a death sentence if they even try it, but they've got to.
Ini kalau kalah sih,
They were dreaming.
Bang ada anomali kanan atas.
In this scenario, and well, Happyway does have the Viper's Pit.
Kagak
Could try
ada
and
nggak?
put it into lamps. It would be a very bold strategy, but it would at least lower the HP of some of the others.
Nice
Molotov instead will force Mistake forward, and he's been cleared, and there goes the Viper's Pit. They just want to try and cover these players off, and then they put the Molotov in front, so nobody could be in position.
Nice.
Jing, though, once again, has managed to catch another, and they have spotted that this is not being planted. They know it's going back the other way. This puts something in a position where he could catch them.
Biar hilang pala lu.
On the angle, it's a clean shot from something. Last man spotted, 12 seconds on the clock. A plant at this point seems impossible. Indeed, it will be with so many players here. Happyway has no choice but to save this weapon, and PRX.
Ini delay-nya ada anomali. Oh, ini yang ini kotak ini ya, ini. Happyway ini. Nah, udah. Emang bener, Cok. Anomali satu ini.
Like those first opening kills, like sure,
Yang paling bener gak usah main, Cok. Kasih menang aja ke PRX ini.
He also then gets the next kill that they find as well in the mix of all the madness. Yeah, that was it. It was No Man sort of running back out, and then even just Divide having that little bit of extra information. I don't mind the adaptation though. As I said, the molly into the Viper's Pit, it's not a bad idea. It's just the fact that something was still waiting on the other side. Like PRX had that contingency plan.
Yeah, I think a walkthrough from Divide as well got them early information.
3-4.
It could have ended there. Deep play from Jing. Reveal is great, and he'll get 2 from it. I didn't see anyone else, but he knows there's corners to hide in. Waiting for his moment in the smoke is another
Itu lineup baru kah?
Already having
Itu
cleared
lineup baru ya?
outside of Hookah, and now it's time to make that big swing. And goes Jing, in goes Forsaken, and out goes XLG.
Easy gini, bro.
No longer in play. It's a 4-4 scoreline between PRX and XLG. An early fight from the attackers, but now they're starting to cool down.
It hasn't yet shattered the economy. That's the one saving grace, but it's also just the manner they're losing some of these rounds. Jing is on fire. Like, you've tried to put Raga in onto the Raze, and don't get me wrong, he's not been bad. But when Jing is currently 11 and
mereka nggak ada yang tahu loh line-up-nya di mana itu.
and he's able to get 2 kills through the smoke while
Gue punya kayaknya itu line-up baru sih. Kayaknya line-up baru. Soalnya gue belum pernah tuh lihat. Enggak ya? Kemarin gue skip beberapa match sih. Ini baru PRX yang gue kenal, real. W Gaming bro, W Gaming, W Gaming. Mau ngamuk dia. Pengen viral cok, Coachnya XLG pengen viral cok.
Exactly, and the reality is, I think this is
pengen jadi Alex
in the tournament, just
version 2 ini. Pengen jadi Alex versi 2 cok.
With an anti-eco going their way,
pengen viral.
should have secured, and lapses in judgment, little mistakes. And that's given the breadcrumbs, the trail for PRX to follow back into this game. From the coaching staff perspective, you got to get in there early, highlight those things that when you're talking about them in scrims or after scrims, you're doing your VOD reviews, you identify these problems, but putting them into action on the day, on the stage, that's a different thing entirely. And now that challenge for XLG, as you said, the economy still pretty healthy. They'll get full buys. Some regen shields have to be bought up, but for the most part, we're in a healthy spot. Ults are online for both squads, but this is a turning point. They lose this, economy in the bin, PRX on a
lagi dong, buset.
It's the same play.
Udah nggak sih?
Reveal sees nothing, Flash gets nothing, and now it's all onto the A site.
Yeah, they've got so much information though. They're already starting that flank seconds into the round, and that was a pixel shot that takes that one. Molotov over the top as well. Something just sat at the back. He knows that he doesn't need to re-aggress from this point onwards. Viva needs to put up a play, and in fact, the orbital strike committed to just try and force them back. That will buy his team not only some space, but a little bit of extra time.
Oh, and here we go. The showstopper activated. Jing on a tear has another to work with, and it's Coconut down. The player deep towards the bathroom is Viva, and he is out of the action, but No Man and Raga making it happen on site. Defuse tap, but Seekers see that no one's on it. Spray almost dropping a few. Look how low the health bars are for XLG, but they are holding on tooth and nail till No Man's caught with a knife out, and now it's all under Viva. He's got to be quick. Down to the line, time is already gone. XLG up to 5 with a Red Bull clutch.
It's just chaos. That round was absolute chaos.
Gila, berapa ulti yang keluar itu, Cok? Race, Brimstone.
That flank, I thought it was going to be a massive problem, but I think just spotted out by Viva. That's just filthy. Like, I don't even know how he can spot that. It's just the reactions of someone like something.
Yeah,
just being able to deny that flank long enough, you could see the rest of the team then garner extra space. Otherwise, they were going to be stuck in that corner. And a big clutch to be won.
Nice.
Economy-wise, I think XLG is still in a worse spot here. Those ultimates that they had have been expended, and the only one that wasn't expended by PRX has been now.
Biasanya ada apa yang ngutip bawa Judge anjing. Bawa Phantom.
As we said, it's been a focus for those early fights of PRX, and we've certainly seen it with the deep dives from Jing. I think that's been more apparent. But now, the aggression's coming in elsewhere. Forsaken. Oh, he's looking the wrong way again. His timing.
Something cow buru-buru banget anjing.
It's just been slightly off, and XLG, they find the advantage as a result. But still to deal with is something on that operator. And once they walk through that wall, big danger awaits. Jing's the one to draw first blood. And patience on something might get him a reward. Instead, he goes for the wingman. Delays the plan.
Trying to slow them a little bit.
Bentar lagi nongol tadi, Cok.
Calling for the rotation of the remaining players, but it's a little bit labored. I think the amount that XLG have been taking those TPs has started to get into the head of PRX, conditioning them to not rotate quite as quickly as maybe they would. Something though, well, talking of quickly, this man is so fast with that operator and already clearing out that lamp's position. It leaves just two. Make that one standing. Only Diva left. A nice couple of shots though. Maybe in with a charge and he gets all four. A Red Bull clutch from Viva. How has he done that?
That is going to haunt PRX for the rest of this game. Maybe this week, maybe this tournament. Two players not even looking. They're so locked in on
Fix Alex ngamuk. Gue yakin ini dikasih lihat nih kameranya Alex nih. Gue yakin dikasih lihat POV-nya Alex nih habis ini. Gak dikasih lihat dong.
This hurts.
That is one of the most ridiculous things I've seen. PRX, they win the rounds they shouldn't. They lose the ones they should. Something on Naraga now. PRX are angry. They're getting aggressive, but Viva, he is fighting right back. 6 kills in a row for him now. He's only got 9 in the map. I mean, I don't know what happened to him since last round, but XLG 4v3, and it's all thanks to Viva.
Oh, you know, they say the Viva la France. Maybe he's just found his home. Like, I don't know what's going on. But whatever happens, anybody who walks into the crosshair of something over the last couple of rounds has ended up dead.
Oh, happy way. He's got the flank. Again, it's the same scenario. The guy from PRX gets one immediately shot in the back. The timing, good and bad, I suppose. Wait up. We're back to a 2v2 though, and that
TP-nya something masih ada,
he doesn't last long. No Man's Sky able to take him down. And the op all that stands for PRX. This could be a 7-4 lead for the underdog.
Still,
wah, ketahuan, Cok.
Something is alive. He's going with the operator.
Ini kalau menang sih, gua sembah looting, sumpah dah.
The opponents on the other side are sitting. He's gonna try and just get it to half. Honestly, that's not bad. He will have to deal with the Tiger. And they now have to swing this. They have to go looking because he's already managed to get it halfway through. What? A 1v2 where he has an operator and he manages to isolate both fights. Oh, it makes no sense, Mitch. It makes no sense.
I don't know what's going on in this game, man. Another Red Bull clutch, another.
Okay, gua sembah looting.
This time it's on PRX's side. This swing wide as well.
Itu sih si irinya sih, yang Vipernya sih yang nge-whiff sih, nggak bohong. Itu Vipernya sih yang nge-whiff sih.
A frustrating loss. What could have been a 7-4 lead, a guaranteed lead at the halftime.
Ini ada suara orang bayarin mic dari mana sih?
Balance has been restored.
Esternya kah?
Perfectly balanced. As all rounds should be. Back and forth we go, but for PRX, this is where they want to bring it up one more. 6-6 at the halftime. 3 pistols that PRX are up against. A huge advantage to the defenders, but already a lot of space taken by XLG.
a large amount of invested utility. That's most of what they have.
Gila, something.
Drip utilized, but an immediate first kill. The trade again has gone back the other way, but this time the weaponry advantage starting to take control. It's left all on to Happy Way. A 1v4, but this time only with a pistol.
Timing.
And there is no hope. There should be no hope, and eventually the job
gila,
gets done.
banget
It is a
jadi
dead even half. And
house
honestly,
skill
Mitch,
banget.
I think it's about right. I think it's about right. 6-6
Something berapa kali ngulti anjir? Kill berapa sih dia?
Certainly not the half I expected to see, Tom.
No.
And then 5 rounds in, it's not the half I expected to see either, because XLG were dominating.
Maybe not even the half I wanted to see. There was some stuff happening
come
there.
Come on, I'm here for the 4K Red Bull clutches all day long. This has been a competitive one, and like you said, XLG underdogs, there's no reason to count them out. PRX, even in rounds where they're underdogs, they show us just how hard you can swing when you're fighting up, and I think after this half, it's anyone's guess what is going to be going on when we go to half number 2. But I'll tell you what, before we get there, we've got a halftime break, and during it, we're going to go over to Lou, who's standing by with a special guest. It's Jing's mom.
Bonjour à
tous. Oui,
Maman
Jing.
Ce premier jour des Champions en direct des arènes avec la
maman
de Jing qui a voyagé à travers le monde pour soutenir son fils. It's a pleasure to welcome you, Pearl, to Champions Paris, following Jing as always. So this is going to be my first question. What makes you follow your son in all his adventures? What are you the most proud of him?
I'm very proud of him, but the real reason why I'm following him is because
gua nggak bohong anjir, ini suara MC-nya suara casternya bocor jir. Ada suara HP geter, cok, what the fuck?
And you know, you always need your mom's help, you know, for
ada suara HP geter anjir.
Première question, qu'est-ce qui fait que vous venez comme ça à l'autre bout du monde? Et bah tout simplement, il ne sait pas faire sa valise, donc je suis avec lui pour un petit peu toutes ces étapes-là.
Iya nggak sih? Apa handphone gue ya?
You know, the city of light, the city of love,
handphone gue ya?
but also the city of very good food. So have you been able to try any? What do you want to try?
We tried the escargot.
Escargot?
Yes, it's really good. And my son's favorite. And also we went to this really good hot chocolate place, Carette.
Okay.
Carette. Yeah, it's really fantastic, and we are going back again.
Oh, you're gonna be back again for sure. Donc, est-ce que tu as pu tester un petit peu
la Maman Jing.
On est connu pour notre belle ville, mais aussi pour notre nourriture. Et du coup, oui, j'ai testé les escargots. Jing a adoré, c'est son plat préféré. Et moi, de mon côté, on a aussi goûté du chocolat chaud. Donc voilà, on y retournera, c'est sûr. And let's see now if Jing brings back the victory on this first match. Let's get back to the game.
Sama kali halftime-nya, cok.
Chocolat chaud, escargot, not a bad palate, I have to say. Some sweet treats in there, and when you look at this game, another sweet treat for us and all the folks at home and here in the venue at Paris. This 6-6 scoreline, Tom, it certainly caught us off guard. PRX clear favorites, we would think, but it's been a back and forth game.
Gila, ini lama banget anjir halftime-nya.
Yeah, no surprise to see Jing is very high up on that one. He's been having a pretty damn good game so far, but in all honesty, it has been this sort of like, who is going to win the round for PRX, or on the other side, it feels like anybody can step up. Jing and Something definitely leading the way in terms of just the individual brilliance, 16-7, 14-7. Both have had their rounds, but yeah, that Viva clutch, the 1v4 to start the tournament, I don't know, that's going to be difficult to top. I'm sure somebody will at some point, but honestly, madness in this first half. And the good thing is, obviously data incredibly low because we haven't seen much of it from the side of XLG other than their victory versus DRG, but they were way better on defense. So it's possible that they come in and this is now their favorite half.
Well, that's exactly what Ender was saying on the desk, right? Like he wanted to see how XLG would perform on the defense, because yes, this is a squad that evidently has the individuals to match up. But the reality is, for PRX on the attack, that is where they can really pull out all the stops, where they can play.
Kill 4.
We'll look at this pistol round to finally give an advantage in this half to one team or the other. PRX, it was 4 players towards B-Long on their defensive side. They had a firing squad ready and waiting, but still, XLG took the cake. Will it be the same?
Attacker boss, PRX, let's go.
There are 3 players ready and waiting on the A side. The TP is still available. You never know if they'll double back in. They're using the Viper screen to take themselves a lot of additional space. Jing has already made it round the backline. Nade over the top is going to make this very awkward for Viva in position. In fact, not awkward, he's gone down.
Anti-plantingnya buat backside dong.
Jing is just running right. Eventually he should fall, but there's a trade to be had.
Yeah, finally. It comes through. Something sneaking about. He's gone into the spawn, and Happy Way was none the wiser.
Gak mungkin kalah kan?
The last one standing. No man to help him but himself. And a big swing to come through from Devi. He's the first to fall. Now down to a 1v2. Bite-sized, manageable, but his back turned to something.
Hampir ngelawak ya, hampir ngelawak. Oke, hampir ngelawak.
6 Pistols, 1-1.
Yeah, they've now taken themselves the lead in the game. And
biasaan anjir nge-pick atu-atu, cok.
The amount of space they were able to get just off the back of the Viper screens, maybe not something you'd expect in most rounds. Maybe a little bit of extra utility available in that part of the map, but it did make it quite difficult once that wraparound had already come in through the lamps to have any sort of map control or site control for XLG. A Happy Way, he had a Bucky on attack. Now he's got a Bucky on defense, but I'm a little bit happier to see where he's playing with it in this round.
Yeah, perhaps a bit more normal. As we said, whether you're in lamps or
nggak beli ini ya, santai nggak beli outlaw ya.
I think there's good reason the PRX are avoiding those closer range engagements straight up through B-Long. Again, this has been, I feel like, the hot spot on the map for this team.
Wait.
Not looking too good to start. Luckily, Jing's there to pick up the pieces. Patman down. They lose that fade utility. They lose the ability to see what's behind that wall. Do they decide to still go bursting through as XLG have made the rotate?
Rotate nggak sih? Rotate.
Witnessed early the power of that double flash, the Sky Gecko.
Wih.
A guaranteed blind. Okay. Oh, okay, he gets through. The Bucky does at least a little bit of damage, but there were definitely some weaker weapons in hand. So, although I think the Marshal has been kept over a Spectre, really
yang satu kena timing, yang satu
and they will at least keep
pakai Marshal.
Marshal over a Spectre, I'll take that.
Through the smoke, anjir.
Depends what your plan is.
No, I'll take it any day. We've already seen the no-scopes work. But we'll see as we move on to the next. This is where XLG, you know, all those good deeds will be forgotten.
Gila sih.
If they end up going out with 7, 8, 9 rounds. We want to see them battling tooth and nail. We want to see them taking the fight to PRX here, but it's not easy. This bonus round, if you want to even call it that, it's only one Bulldog that's at a disadvantage for the attacking side. Sprays through again. B-Long, 4 players there. It seems like this is just PRX's first 15-second plan in so many of the rounds, and it does almost get them first blood. No man's on half. The nade is that's doing a lot of damage.
Juga anjir.
He's in the open, somehow gets before he falls.
I'm surprised he didn't just take the TP, but yeah, clearly don't want to give up that control. Something there.
Jago anjir nih orang si Noman.
To sacrifice his life to battle for, especially when his teammate had full control over showers already. So it wasn't even a risk really going through that TP with the Viper screen available as well. Forsaken, even on low HP, still brawling though. 45 when he took that fight, but now leaves a couple of opponents.
Simpan badan nggak sih Son? Mok masih 2 anjir.
Viva walks out of this round with a 4K. I think we pause for an investigation.
Nice.
Down to 6 HP, 25 up on the shields, at least the regen. Keeping him relatively healthy, and he's on his way. Smoke's already down. Mosh pit to buy a little bit of time, but the plant hadn't even been tapped yet. 35 seconds, still plenty to play with for PRX, and they've sent Forsaken through to the B site.
Smokernya lurker anjing.
They can wrap back around, but they've already gone in towards the site.
TP sih.
No, Raga spams. That was the problem. He didn't make it into the TP in time. Forsaken had hit his timing, but the rest of the team were fairly well committed.
Winnable sih.
Mix up in what was the plan. And while for Forsaken, his only choice now is to run, grab the spike, and try and plant on the A site. I don't think he has time for that anymore. Too wary of where his opponents are going to be. XLG, just based on, I feel like the havoc that PRX caused themselves, have been able to win the round.
Yeah, indeed. You know, you look at this situation as if you just stick that play towards the A side. Already so much of the utility burned up from XLG. They don't have the mosh pit to deny.
Ini gila sih Noman sih masih bisa dapat 1.
Maybe they could have found success. Great pick from Noman, considering he was so desperately low. But then you start seeing players fall back, fall forward. It becomes complete chaos.
Hoki banget,
I think it was literally the last bullet from Raga ends up dropping the spike, which could have made it to the TP a little bit earlier. Not singing from the same hymn sheet here at PRX. Well, they have fallen apart because of it. Still, that was the quote-unquote bonus round. Now they come in with a Guardian instead of the Bulldog in the previous, but a big weapon that is in play is the Showstopper, and it's right onto Viva.
This is a
Mati dong.
cheeky little off angle though from Braga. He's landed in the smoke, and well,
Kepleset
get rewarded for it. Does at least deny the plant for now, but the amount of space is already there. It seems like it's going to be a lot more commitment in this round from PRX, not risking the rotate back. They've done well to clear out Jing though, and we'll even things up once again.
It's going to be a very late play coming in from something. The wraparound taking quite a while. The steps are going to be heard. He's heard Coconut, but Coconut didn't hear him. It's the ult. It's disastrous. Something's going to be right on them with no man in the dog as well. It's a double kill. Something. It looked like he was late to the party. But he ends up winning the round for PRX.
Gua kira tuh tadi race aja, ternyata Sakai lagi ngedok.
Round for PRX as a result.
Oh, gue kira tuh race aja. Lah, kok dia kagak denger ya si Hunting lari-lari, cok. Ternyata Sakai lagi ngedok anjir di. Gila keduanya sih.
Let's use the thrash to clear out all of these risky positions, and because of it they get caught, they get bitten.
Happyway is having a terrible time.
Aku kira time out si XLG-nya.
9-7. Unfortunately for XLG, that was all of their money.
Rame.
Is going to spot this out, but
nice.
just a shooting range.
Wah, udah sih.
Up against no weaponry, and while Happyway
udah masukin lah.
He's going to try and take this fight with a bucket. There's absolutely no hope. A flawless round for PRX, and any economy problems are immediately dissipated.
Gak sih?
Here it is, the new skin, the new finisher. 3 more needed for PRX if you're having trouble figuring out what's between 10 and 13. And this is what we're worried about, right? It's about once that ball gets rolling, the snowball effect on PRX, the individual confidence sky high, something
habis ini kalau kalah harusnya TO sih.
The previous round, and it working out. It's a
ini udah TO,
terrifying sign for XLG. They need to bounce back. It's going to be a good time to put in their pause. I see the time frozen. Indeed, it is going to be a pause from XLG. I don't think that takes many brain cells to work out, though. They have started to slip and slide, and it's PRX who seems set to take this map. Perhaps not the series, but you have to remember, they chose Sunset up next. Whatever we think about that, they must have ideas.
Oh, for sure. I think that it's a map that, okay, maybe they had a slip-up versus Zeta, but that does feel like a bit of a weird week for PRX in general. Other than that, confident win over T1, and over the last few months have had big victories versus a lot of top teams. So I don't think they're going to be too worried going into that matchup. And on the other side of things, well, XLG got decimated by DRG on that map. So I think that this is, even though this is a very, very good map for PRX and maybe overall a solid time for XLG, you also have to then consider the rest of the group, like an inform-looking GX Sentinels. Like I don't think most people would have PRX Sentinels making it out based on previous tournaments. And for XLG, although a loss to PRX is nothing to be ashamed of, it's very similar to what we saw at the prior event where, oh, you lost to G2 and Sen. You didn't do bad though. It's like, well, it doesn't matter.
Well, exactly. As we said, the pain of nearly. For XLG, that's what's going to haunt them. They come in today, you tell them you're going to lose 2-0, 2-1 to PRX. Okay, fine. As long as we put up a fight, but then you tell them you could have won, you were close.
Yeah.
You had the
at least in the first half.
Hey, in the first half, absolutely. This could have been a 7 or 8 round half from them, but this is the moment where they can't leave anything on the table. Where are those signs of life? Rifles in hand, a lot of light shields. Ult's not really there for the defenders, but for the attackers, they've got all the info. Something's already seen these players on site. Orbital strike comes through, play inside. Something, even though it didn't hit, it surely did. We're down to a 3 versus 4.
Ting-ting tuh gila banget anjir.
Swarm from all sides. And XLG have to fight an uphill battle, but the first step.
Enaknya High Sense tuh kayak gitu ya.
Not bad. Couple of low players as well. The swing, Coconut has managed to bring this round into
jadi
contention.
2v2 gini, Cok.
2 versus 4 that, I'll be honest, looked impossible. Raga, I wasn't even sure if he was going to go for it, but when Coconut puts that into play, there's a chance. Even still, Forsaken and Divine.
Mau double pick ini sih harus XLG.
They're going to group up. They're going to try and join each other. The swing for Forsaken isolates the battle. It gives Raga a chance once again, and the swing is perfect. 5 HP is all he
Susah
needs
sih.
as XLG win the 2v4.
Kalau mau nembakin race yang settle kayak gitu, Cok.
Huge win.
Oh, nggak males nungguin dia darat, cuy.
As I said earlier,
Pas
this
nungguin
is
dia
a guy
berhenti
that said
dulu.
he just wants to prove that he's got what it takes to fight against some of these players. A team
Gila banget sih itu.
But he can match up against them. That's devastating for Happyway. Thank God they had that clutch in the end. Your scoreline stays close down to a gap of 2 thanks to this man here. Look how desperately close it was. Close ain't good enough for PRX.
Itu dia tadi habis ngekill per second udah punya ulti ya? Gak dia pakai dong.
Definitely seeing some of those blips. The 1v4, 2v4, PRX making a fair amount of mistakes. With hefty advantages, XLG are doing well to capitalize off of
ada ulti dong si Brimstone.
Coconut. Huge individual round and basically keeping them in the match. That would have been their economy not only wrecked, but also PRX being just a couple away from taking their own map choice. And they do have to be careful in this round. Light shields on every player bar one.
Beda tipis gini skornya.
For something. Think about the first half and how much it caused them issues. They can't afford to give this man a fight.
Not at all. You end up getting lit down 140 in this to 10 HP, and it's...
Wah, 3 orang udah di sini, coy.
Pretty much guaranteed pickup for PRX when the utility bombardment comes through. There's the Outlaw already spotted with the decoy sent through. Flash finds nothing but it. Always the danger that that's a Yoru on his own, ready to gate crash, but now the Flash
kenapa masuk satu-satu, kocak.
No man's got 2! The Patman tries his best to pull it back, yet it's left all onto Divide. He's got 3 to take down. The first comes easy, but 25 seconds of Viper's Pit online.
Oh, nggak paham aja itu masuknya satu-satu dong mereka.
After the plant, from where is the question? With the showstopper hunting him down, it looks like he wants to stand around. He wants to take the pick, but decides to fall back a little too late. Rarga again getting the round on the board in the final stages for XLG, and a 10-9. The signs of life very much there.
Pegang pisau dia anjing.
It definitely seemed like a gamble. You know that if a player runs through and just maybe even gets a little bit lucky, it could have been your round over. But I think that's been something that XLG have done great so far in this match, is that surprise factor. They have been so hard to read that even when you have a full bombardment of utility, they're able to come out with an advantage. And even then, just I like him watching Coconut play. Like, even though he ends up going down in the fight versus Divide, his goal is to stay alive. He's not trying to be the hero. He's not trying to put the team on his back.
Dia mau ininya anjir, mau apa? Mau buru-buru lari ke long. Mah kena timing, Cok.
Snake fight landing on long, denying that control for XLG. But it's towards the A site that the real fight is coming in. And the reaction from XLG very early on, they popped the Thrash. They see players inside of Bath, but that Thrash not retrievable, not finding the impact. It's a glorified drone.
Coconut doesn't want to hold it for a retake again. Oh, the nades are going to be exchanged, but it's Divide almost using the distraction of a teammate.
Itu pada mati dari mana, Cok?
3 players immediately down. We've seen a 1v4 or 2v4, but we've definitely not seen a 1v5, and I don't think Viva is going to give the time of day. And this is what I felt like has been the difference between the 2 squads, though. It feels like when XLG win a round, it is by the skin of their team. It is very close. There's maybe a player or 2 surviving or a clutch round. When PRX win a round,
yang jelek apa sih? Semuanya bagus, Cok. Ghostnya bagus, Phantomnya apa lagi? Guardiannya bagus. Milenya apa sih? Gue lupa milenya Recon apa sih?
I agree with you entirely. In all seriousness, like PRX, like you said, they look dominant in some of the rounds that they're taking. XLG, it's clutches. It's thriving in the chaos, back and forth, trading blows. Viva will even get out of here with the Guardian. You've heard the TP, so did he. The smoke buys him a little bit of extra space. Looks like he's okay. 32 HP.
Satu peluru lagi tuh mati
tuh. That was close to disaster. 11-9. PRX 2 away. XLG 2 behind. It still is anyone's game, but there's a problem brewing, Tom.
Yeah, this is the issue. When you have so many casualties in the round that you win. Okay. Yeah, right. I'm glad that the player
saw him earlier.
The player was highlighted. It's like, yeah, and then he just banged.
Ngapain dia tadi ya di zoom ya? Endingnya matinya terus ke smoke anjing di tengah lagi.
Exactly. I think he has a ruler on stage. Well, the buy is
I mean, a good chance to catch them if they do go through that pit, having the judge investment. The problem is, when you look at the tab as PaperX and you see, okay, they don't have much money, and you see a pit go up, if you decide to go through that pit, you're insane. Now, PaperX are insane.
Sometimes they,
so there is a chance they do that, so actually rated against them. But yeah, generally speaking, that's just not going to find the value. We have to look elsewhere.
The only
and of
other
course,
thing
you can't force stack B because you have to clear that path wrap around.
The other thing will be the assumption of a stack, though. It's, if you see that pit, you're mostly probably going to assume maybe it's just one player there. It really is a game of playing the odds. 45 seconds left.
Tipis, Cok.
Viper screen definitely causing them issues before with the amount that it's been able to delay, but this time they're through it with relative ease. Actually going to commit to the orbital strike. They're going to try and isolate players. Viva has done well. The problem is
di body block di settle
with another high impact round, and the rest of the team have plenty of time to make their way into the site. We've spoken about the clutches,
body block
what XLG have managed to bring home, but this one I would really, I expect a hole in the desk if PaperX let this one.
Kayaknya saving lagi dah.
I expect a hole in the desk from XLG's coaching staff, though. This feels like an overheat, Tom. You come into this round where you've got next to nothing, where you're fighting if you lose for PaperX. 3 rounds in a row, 3 chances in a row to close it, and a pit and an orbital strike put through. That feels like such a heavy commitment, leaving them with nothing for this buy round.
I guess the look here is that, okay, now we have 2 chances, once with the ultimates and once with the rifles, rather than having 1 chance to all in. I don't necessarily mind.
Tuh kan kena body block, kena settle.
Especially when you're up against someone like PaperX. But I do feel like there's also the thing of like you could have both those ultimates still lose, and then you've given them the other.
Kasian betul dah Faizo. Udah di body block sama something kena settle. Oke, fokus dulu.
And another popped in as Viva struggles up close but finds himself too. Now,
itu kalau kill lagi sih gak paham lagi gua.
But he's given his team a fighting chance. The problem is, with that Viper's pit going up, they now have an uphill battle to get anywhere near that spike. That's close. But he doesn't go back till it's too late for the spam.
Yeah, I think maybe assume that he let go. They're gonna know that.
Udah sih. GG sih. GG.
Although Patman has managed to leave.
Bro, serius jangan keluar lah, Fai.
The drop will be known and it's risky from Divide, but the risk pays off, and now Noman left alone. Pit going to be dropped and Divide is there to close it. It was a valiant effort by XLG.
Tapi keras coy, gabung keras coy.
Ultimately, the job expected to be won.
Skornya tipis anjir.
By PaperX.
Well, this is
ini di game ini tadi banyak banget ya timingnya.
Timingnya banyak banget. Quite a journey. XLG showing us that they've got the ability
momen timing
to push them to their limits, and they'll have to do the same on Sunset, PaperX's map, after this break.
Dude, actually cannot believe we are playing already our first match.
Reason is we win Japan. We go here. We tired. Select a bit, then we win champion.
Ya, we tired, bisa slow.
Tired.
Rocket up, mata shoots.
Anjir, di tim memeable banget ya. Fuck man.
Now that I'm a mom, things are different. Verizon's different too. They let everyone in my family choose different plans. We get what we want and we save money. Love that for me.
Siapa coy? Oh, iklan anjing. Horizon siapanya Amazon. Habis ini ini coy, Giant X sama Sentinel. Males nonton sih gue cuma mau nonton PRX sama RRQ cok.
System updated. We will dance to get. The future of money is here. Feels good.
Esports World Cup, where we are starting off with Valorant.
If you want to win, you have to win against the best.
So looking for revenge.
There's the shorty. Goes crazy.
They've all battled through the pressure and expectation. Heretics we won. Finally.
Yang watch party siapa aja sih? Taran sih. Enggak sih yang watch party? Apa nih? Harus skill Rai. Ada cok. Arah.
Come let me this. We be like step, come let me this. We be like step, come let me this.
Hey guys, Mika here with Alex of PRX. Congratulations on the first map win of Champions Paris. That was a bit closer than many expected though, so what do you think it was? Was it PRX with a bit of a slow start, or was it XLG doing something that surprised all of you?
I mean, first of all, I think XLG is a very good team. You know, they champions of Stage 1 China. They have the MVP in their team. Aside from that, I think both teams are a little bit nervous. So you could see like the games were. I mean, everyone was trying to take their time and relaxing a little bit, trying not to make mistakes. So I believe that now that everyone's warmed up, I think the second game will be a banger.
Oh, that's a teaser. Well, good luck to you guys.
PRX, they take map 1 here, but they did have to work for it, Ender and Doug. It wasn't easy by any means. So if we take a look at the HyperX reflex moment here from Viva, this was ridiculous.
This was absolutely insane. So No Man gets cleared down short. And then look at these shots from Viva. So quick on the adjustments. It's like one shot miss, instant reset headshot. Miss, instant reset headshot. Just sick.
Yintu, I think you said it exceptionally well. They pushed PRX. I think they had a really good idea on their attacking side. We talked a bit about the Waylay versus the Raze and how, traditionally speaking, the Raze fits a little bit more, but maybe they'd be missing a little bit of that you know, Joker in their hand, a little like trick to try to make their attack side a little bit more, a little bit stronger. But I love the way they layered their utility. I think there were often times that PRX looked a little overwhelmed on sites. They did a really good job of chaining those together, and it was enough in the first half, but then everything kind of fell apart.
Yeah, it was. If we take a look at the post-one, we can tell they've given us a reason to believe why they picked Bind.
Well, I think the first thing is, I think XLG really locked in the post plants, and we're very aware of the flanks. You heard Alex talking about it. I think PRX were going way too often for walk-ups and going for flanks, and the crowd here is going wild for the flanks, it sounds like. But honestly, I think XLG held their ground really nicely, and specifically Viva and No Man's Sky. You know, great game, great player. Absolutely popping off in these late rounds.
And again, I think it was, they understood their game plan was utility dump onto the site, get out there. And once you get there, once you get into a post plant, they've got PRX figured out a little bit, but they also knew what their protocol was.
I even love the creativity of like Viva realizing 3 people are on the flank. He drops the Brimald, right? Just to delay, and he ends up going down, but you still see those moments where I think XLG did a very good job of adjusting to the chaotic style that PRX were bringing.
They did, definitely, indeed. This is the thing, though. If it weren't for, the something duo doing so well, being able to bring this game back, it could have been, you know, even an overtime, I think, the way that XLG were playing.
I think there's a world where, like, without something just dominating like 3 rounds in the first half and solo winning them, like XLG could have been up 8 or 9 at the half. But
orangnya kemana? Ke belakang tadi gua.
6 because the great work out of something and him and Jing just crushed.
Yeah, in the second half. Ender, I think you're absolutely right. If it was not for something stabilizing in that first half, it probably gets away from them in the first half. And then, you know, Alex was talking about an interview. They needed to calm down a little bit. They were kind of overswinging. They were a little bit too up. But if not for something's heroics, we're talking about an entirely different half and potentially an entirely different score here.
He was giving it as well, which is crazy, you know.
Yeah, out of his seat a little bit.
I love to see it. I would also love to hear what Havoya had to say, of course, standing by with Mika Faz ahead of map 2.
I'm here right now with Havoya of XLG. Now, that was a very tough first map. I wanted to ask about the bind pick, because this is one of PRX's strongest maps. It's also a strong map for XLG, but I was just curious on your thoughts on picking that map, and was it because you felt like the ban on Lotus was more important for PRX?
I think, first of all, PRX feel themselves better on Lotus. But also, we feel fine on bind. It was just like a tough series for us, and I mean the map. And we dropped some ecos. Also, we didn't manage to win second pistol. I think if we could step up a little bit earlier, I think it could be our map. So it is what it is. Let's move on to the second map.
Right. Well, hopefully they step up a bit more on Sunset.
What are their chances on Sunset? If on Bind, you guys aren't super sure why they chose this? Does it get better on Sunset for XLG?
No, honestly, I mean, we were a little bit surprised with the bind coming through, but it was sort of a secret weapon map for them in the playoffs for the team. So I think bind was almost a must-win in the series, with it being PRX's choice here.
Which is almost unfair to ask, given that you're going against an undefeated PRX on bind, but I'm inclined to agree with you. It did feel like a must-win, and as we turn our attention over to Sunset, again, there's going to be a Sage. We're going to see that for the first time on the global stage, for sure. The buff stage and kind of how that changes playstyle.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's less of a major change to the playstyle. It gives you a lot more ability to like react, put down a wall from a further range as you're rotating in or something like this to put it down. But I think from XLG, what they will have been focusing on in a lot of the prep work, coming in knowing that high chance that Sunset is going to be coming through in the map here, is when they're working against PRX's defense, PRX puts up so much of a fight into the mains. A main, B main, and I think that XLG need to be very snappy at punching these forward positions. I think having Neon and a Yoru in your comp to take down those angles is a good spot.
Noman's not playing Deadlock anymore. It's going to be Noman, Neon, and Raga Yoru. I really like this.
I do too.
I like it a lot.
I'm completely on board with this. I think you have so many different fighting tools, again, to punish PRX overextending, and again, you call it overextending, but they are often dominating on those forward lines. I think also with the way that Noman was dominating back on Bind, you could not ask for a better guy to be stepping into that second duelist role for the team here on Sunset.
I think this might be his 7th or 8th agent that he's
played
on this team.
Literally everything.
You're right. I do think so. When I saw the change from Waylay to Raze, I thought, okay, they're going to want to fight it out. with PRX, and I think we saw a lot of that in the first half. I think this follows that same line of thinking. They're going to want to duke it out with PRX, and that's a hard thing to do. They did it in the first half, kind of fell apart in the second half. I'm hesitant to see this on Sunset.
Yeah, and if that map was PRX needing to warm up, they're gonna get scary.
Besok kayaknya gue stream siang sih. Besok kali ya, siang. Besok siang. Besok siang main Silk Song kali ya.
I don't know how you guys feel, but I would love to hear what Mitchman and Tombiz thinks about that little.
Kalau syuting gue udah kelar, ding, gue nggak tahu, ding, besok gue syuting sampai jam berapa.
How's that tickled your fancy?
I don't know. I feel like being a little bit more boisterous could be nice. I think Noman definitely had a few moments individually. I do fear that trying to almost beat PRX with firepower and aggression it might not work. I think it's a bold play. I do want to focus though on Happy Way because I feel like he had a pretty.
Ya kayaknya besok siang gue bisa Silk Song sih. Tapi
one of their best players individually. He's now
yang lihat kondisi. Kalau siang bisa Silk Song, kayaknya malamnya gue kelarin ini sih, story Genshin sih kayaknya sih. Apa siangnya Genshin ya, malamnya Silk Song. Lihat lah besok ntar gimana.
They think they're still on the attack side. They push through mid with 3. Full control. 4 in fact. You count the player towards the door of Patman who will be safeguarding market. But this is all about the flank game. And there is
30% power
trap waiting for them there. So it won't be a complete surprise that there's someone there. It just might be a bit of a surprise quite how many players Happy Way is about to see.
What?
The only player elsewhere down to 1 HP already, so I have to be a bit more careful. But you can see they have switched up where they are defending this spike from, or pushing all the way around. It hasn't mattered though. The swarm that is PRX has given them an advantage. And Device
nice wall, nice wall.
He's just going to stick behind the wall. They need to run back around over the top. They need to go, and it seems like they are not going to be able to do
nice, let's go.
Rocker, he did well, and I think Device even.
Tapi bolnya ke ini ya, terlalu ke kiri anjir. Masih bisa dilompatin, cok. Itu sih lebih bagus kalau bolnya tuh serong kan, serong ke kanan. Aduh, gimana ya jelasinnya?
On the left side here, as we see it from Forsaken's perspective, it could have been exploited on the wrap-around as well, so
masih bisa dilompatin, tuh kan. Masih di sini loh. Coba wallnya ini ujungnya ini di sini. Jadi miring ke sini. Tapi di sini bisa sih. Tapi kan di sini ada teman ya tadi ya. Kalau ke sini kan mungkin lompatnya agak susah ya. Yang dari belakang.
You can't start a train at full speed. That's not how it works.
That is true. Gotta pick it up. They only had to dock into the
susah sih kalau lagi buru-buru ya.
Speak with the conductor Alex one time. Then it was plain sailing.
Outlaw wallbang damage berapa sih?
Like you would see him play an agent that
wallbang Outlaw damage-nya berapa sih? Atau langsung mati dia. Berarti masih di atas 100.
It doesn't necessarily
sakit benar tuh senjata, coy.
I also love the fact that we've seen these changes to Sage, obviously making the range of that wall so much further. So Devi obviously places it 2 millimeters away from where he is. Yeah. This round, expectation incredibly low. Any weaponry drop would be nice, and hey, Braga has dropped one of the rifles, and that
could
be retrievable.
Oh, nice, something.
Good selection though from something.
Will be retrievable, but at a heavy cost indeed.
Yeah, hampir nggak bisa. Let's go.
Swing as something covers that.
Lah.
2-0 start for PRX. 4 players alive. Big weapon still carried through, and it's a strong start. But this round is really where we get the litmus test. A good sign early on, though, is seeing Rarga be able to deliver. As we said, he's someone that comes into as we said,
technical time out kah?
As well. He's someone who comes in here with
kayaknya tadi Jason headsetnya earphone-nya agak kenapa gitu.
Last time we saw XLG at Masters, it wasn't really anything to write home about. Like obviously we've seen them have a fair few
enggak, ding, gua kira technical.
Trying to fill in for you, and I don't mean you, obviously.
For me?
No.
Shadows traveling. You're trying to replace me, Thomas. This is like Baby Bay. It's alright, I'm ready to play.
Okay.
Me against him.
Your Phoenix might be better than his. We'll have to
Gila juga nih orang anjir.
There's no need for that.
This purchase is definitely an odd one, though. You've got yourself a Bucky and for Forsaken. Sting is still in play. Like, this is around the XOG, nigh on half to win. Otherwise, the amount of economy upgrades that there will be. Dimensional Drift only one away as well. Could be powerful in that post plant, but it is a wide net currently being thrown out by Forsaken. Mentioned that he had a weaker gun. Didn't stop him taking a fairly aggressive angle.
45 on the clock, fairly committed from XLG. They got to go towards this site. Jing to deal with to start.
Oh, nice
move. But he gets out of
move.
there thanks to the blast packs. Well placement. 35 now. XLG got to pick up the pace. Wrapping around, but PRX are flooding back into the site. 3 players here now with one deeper towards the spawn. This is essentially a 4-man hold. 25 seconds, and they call for the rotate. Yeah, it's the right call. They've dragged all these players over. And they'll make their way across mid with that smoke with ease. This should be a plant, but I'm always wary of PRX's ability to be disruptive. Something.
Wah.
He's in there. Only one.
Yeah, and they've managed to make it.
Wah, nggak aware sih itu sih. Wah, yakin nggak aware sih itu sih. Mati si JJ sih.
Good redirection, especially with the sage wall being used in towards the spawn. There was the box up top that you would have had.
Minimal rusak ekonomi lah ya bisa.
And now even with no man in the spawn, just waiting to try and catch them as they fall out. The fact is, though, PRX, all of these guns are going to be upgraded in the next round anyway, sih kalau bisa sih. They might as well try and do some damage.
That's exactly what they're looking for. You see all this deep clears of middle.
Oh, dapat vandal. Oh yeah, okay.
The idea is certainly in their head that someone could be lurking around. Rifle picked up for Divai as well. Good chance to make these exits very costly. He will close in towards this spawn. I don't think Jing has any chance. Oh, actually, he might have a chance to have an impact. He goes Divai is shut down. Okay, 2-1. 4 players alive for XLG. That's a picture-perfect round 3.
Yeah, and that's exactly as clean as it needed to be. It definitely got a little bit dangerous, and as we mentioned, like you're always going to see fights looking to be utilized by the side of PRX. It gets them a lot of early information. So I like the fact that with 20 seconds left, they were willing to sort of gamble on that rotation, not fearful that they'll be caught somewhere else. Even still, though, it's going to be an immediate purchase back up from the side of PRX, and I'm kind of looking at Braga here. He's going to immediately utilize that dimensional. Bear in mind, the only weapon he has is the shorty.
Perfect for this ultimate. One flash left. Oh, he's come out without one. Moving around through the smoke.
Oh, nice.
Wrap around for Patman. Quick on his feet. He'll take Raga down. Now it's rifles, though, that they will be up against. The trick play hasn't worked. Divai's dead. Dead to rights. It's even a headshot from Noman to lock it in. But still, a 2 versus 4. Can't even get the 3 out before Patman's dealing with another. PRX holding strong so far. And Happy Way failing to take down Jing. Now that's the information. The element of supply is gone for his position. And the wraparound super late from Forsaken. He's going to cause issues, but Viva seemed aware of it. The timing, though, he corrects in time. But he can't quite land the shot.
Especially with how low some of these players are, but there's a chance. But it seems like PRX are ready and raring to go on this defensive half. A third already picked up, and I have to say that the orb placement coming out from Patman there in the early stages of that round is wonderful. Like you see this attempt to play into the back of the site, and he's just denied all of it, just keeping hold of that control.
Apa namanya kalau emosinya dipermainkan apa sih?
Emotion. Right, it's so much value delivered as a result of that. I'm not sure what's being said there.
Davai tadi ngapain?
I love the to spawn to be safe and then back out with this smoke. Right, it's so much value delivered. As a result, on top of the paranoia, Jing's stuck in the corner, and they know it, but in goes Divai, happy to help out his buddy, set him up for success. Forsaken's found one elsewhere, but Jing looking the wrong way will be dropped by Noman. We're back to a 3v3. Spike still secure for XLG, and this map, it doesn't get any smaller. The less players to defend it, this should be an advantage for the attacking side.
Yeah, it feels like the first 15 to 20 seconds of the round lead to those early battles, and then there's a break in the action. I do feel like XLG throughout this matchup so far have actually done quite well to deny a lot of these plays from PRX. I think it was even Noman just having a reactive stun immediately to try and slow that push. Now with 50 seconds left, early rotation available for Forsaken up. He's been dealt with immediately. Noman doing well on this Neon.
Spike planted.
Spike will now be planted.
They know players on side are stuck there.
Gila.
Snakebite stops them from falling back and stops Happyway from helping out, but now it's faded. Happyway on the angle, looking for the fight, finding it, and Noman tripling up. That's what we needed to see. XLG won't let
Nggak bisa sih kalau gitu sih, ayam sih itu sih.
push up to 2.
Gila banget, Cok.
Yeah, I was definitely a little bit skeptical with Noman going on to the Neon. I think definitely a role that he has played quite a bit in terms of that like individual brilliance. I think we saw some of the skill in the last map, but as said, even some of the like reactive stuns he's putting out, willing to sort of take a bit of a gamble, take a risk versus these players. The timing was then in his favor, but even just winning, yeah, some of the fights that maybe he necessarily shouldn't. Not even flexing while he does it. 3-2. Economy of PRX has taken a hit here though. A pistol for something, although at times it doesn't even feel like a dead.
Smoke-nya bagus loh ya. Benernya. Buat ngisolate satu angle.
When they had that astonishing, I think round 5, a bunch of pistols in play, and that's maybe the most dominant that they'd looked. For XLG, ulti's available. They need those safety nets. It rotates from Coconut, the information. You have a Hunter's Fury soon. Deep play from Nomad.
Anjir, bagus banget Cok masuk bitnya.
Down to his rifle, but Coconut's
Wah, timing,
middle.
Cok.
Good to trade that back. Now they've sensed the weakness, blood in the water, but Forsaken still standing strong. Team fight from Nomad though has managed to pull this back to a 3v3, and with the ult pop, he's got a tough fight up against Jing, and he won't win it. But with Forsaken going down, the numbers keep going back and forth till there's only 2.
Aduh mekanik nih bos, aduh mekanik, let's go.
The 1v1 that leaves.
Aduh ada ulti dia.
On either side. Bit of a risk position to plant from him, because of that something is going to get away with it.
Gila juga plantingnya di situ, Cok. Enggak, itu dipertanyakan sih kenapa dia plantingnya di situ sih. Tadi masih ada waktu kan? Ntar gue mau lihat dong waktunya tadi. Oh nggak. Masih 30 detik anjir.
Investment here for either side. In fact, both teams' economy here is on the brink. It's only something that has a few extra credits to spare. So a winner of this round, it could be worth a double.
This is going to be so punchy. Could even have a Hunter's Fury off rip coming through from Viva. They want to get aggressive. They want to play this one fast. You can already see Nomad taking space. Paranoia burned by PRX early to try to slow them down. Jing goes in swinging. Won't find much. And TP from Coconut. He's deep in their spawn. They are making so much pressure towards this A site. Forsaken, he doesn't crumble under that pressure to start, but finally, he will come crashing down. A 4 versus 3. Res possible for PRX, but the positions of those bodies, it doesn't make it look
Wah, mati dong.
likely. Happyway's got beautiful timing, but the shots don't land.
Sama aja deh.
Rarga's there,
Sama aja nih.
and leaving something alone and trapped in with the enemy. He can't even get out till that wall fades, and he will be cut down to size before that happens.
Aduh, ada wall temen tuh.
Yeah, like he gets the job done.
Itu tadi dipakai buat boosting ya? Iya nggak sih? Apa nge-boostingnya malah nutup jalan kayak gitu? Kocak bener udah apa?
Instead, him staying alive is much more of a burden than even the individual kill that he could have got instead.
Tadi dipakai buat boosting nggak sih?
Yeah, sure. Still maybe a few jitters here and there. But the guy is always good
at having
those backstabs.
I know what you feel, bro.
Sort of having those multi-frag rounds. And I like the change of pace from XLG. I said so far, I feel like even in the last map, they called a decent game. Like, it didn't look like they were getting outclassed.
And the important thing there is, right, PRX, on that A-side hold, not only do they have numbers, but they have the wall behind them, so they're not even worried about a mid-flank coming through. Everybody is focused on that choke point, and Coconut being able to go into the spawn makes that much more difficult to do. The guys on site can't just swing out wide and hold the short fight. They can't just look for the elbow duel, because they'll be shot up from spawn potentially. And you have all of these headaches created for PRX. That very much felt like PRX getting a taste of their own medicine.
Gila, ini something nggak dicek nih. Something nggak dicek nih. Harusnya nggak dicek nih.
See how slow and methodical.
Dapat satu son.
Being on the other side.
Oh nice.
Forsaken has been able to take that first fight. Now the move away is somewhat to sell a ruse for something.
Nggak jadi commit
He's gonna
mereka,
be able to hit any of the steps as they rotate. They've still got this aggressive position from Jing. Bear in mind, he does have the showstopper available. Probably won't want to use it immediately, but no, never mind. He's going to go straight into the steps or faked out. That was Raga's utility that has baited the ultimate, but now they go back towards something. Are they going to check the box? No, they're not, but it's a bit whippy. Not quite connecting. Divine now, the next man up, and Happy Way just thriving. The Dane just seemingly slipping out of the round. And what could have been incredibly costly ends up with still 4 players standing.
Ada tamu guys.
Great correction from the previous map where PRX were finding so much value with these weaker weapons. Forsaken,
careful.
The only player that, well, he didn't have that much of a weaker weapon. He had the Guardian. Wasn't the Sheriff doing the work. And he's recovered a rifle, a chance to do more damage. Surely the round win is already lost.
I'm starting to question that.
It could be an ace, but the problem is you've got Viva deep playing with that Hunter's Fury! And Forsaken now only has that ult to deal with. He now knows where his opponent is, but the Hunter's Fury surely decides the fate of this round. It's already activated. It might seem early, but the time on the clock is already so low. Forsaken goes in, pops it, goes for the stick. He might have time. It's going to be desperately close. The spam coming in from Viva doesn't get there in time! But it's a 0.02 second difference. Blink and you miss it, but that margin of error swings in XLG's favor.
So you know earlier where I said it might take a while to beat that 1v4. We almost just had it beaten, and it was 0.02 that made it not. That's absurd.
I can feel myself swallowing my own words.
But I'll be honest with you. You doubting Forsaken in this clutch, I'm a little bit disappointed.
They have Hunter's Fury post plant in a 3v1 with the spike planted ages ago.
But Forsaken,
I mean, you know, I'd like to argue with you, but what we just saw means my point's invalid.
Oh, that was so desperately close.
0.02.
Oh, nice
shot.
You can see the confidence right back in. Aggressive start, but this is what I'm saying. XLG have always been doing well to recover any of those early advantages that PRX are able to gain.
Sini sih.
Jing could be expecting to be challenged. He's going to spot nothing outside the A site, and because of that, it's allowed for an immediate rotation for Forsaken to get back into B. They have definitely been red, and in fact, Jing can now just lock them in.
Smoke up, it's decently deep, but that drone, oh, it didn't see him. He's gotten inside the smoke.
Whoa.
Oh, it's beautiful from PRX with Jing wrapping around the other side. That slipped through the smoke. It's been a problem. A couple of times you've seen that finesse from PRX and being quick on their feet, able to get especially smokes, poison orbs, it doesn't matter what it is, but able to get that positional advantage in some of these plays. Even still, a round gap of only 1.
It's definitely been a different match to expected, but still those moments, Jing still performing to a high level.
Now this one is, it's not looking great, is it?
No.
4 Sheriffs, an attack side Bucky. Makes a bit more sense when it's on the Neon. Slide in, get real close.
Oh yeah, I've seen plenty of TikToks of that sort of gameplay. We'll see if No Man has it in the locker. It might not matter. Already one going to his teammate, and there you go. That's a Bucky onto Jing. This fast-paced 1-2 punch of the Duelists have not only got them positioning, but it's also got them in with that weaponry. And the bigger danger as well is, okay, sure, you had yourself the ultimates. Hunter's Fury might now be able to cause some damage. No Man gone, rifle dropped, drone already being sent through. Raga just immediate on the headshot.
Not hit by the drone either. He sticks around. Divide, though, the one to punish him. The res available. There's a player that can be res. There it is. Patman's brought back. Even numbers. And it gets Coconut curious. He swings out looking for the duel, but now they'll go pushing into him. Viva down, and it's Happy Way against 2. But he's brought it to the 1v1. 6 HP. A headshot needed, but it's Divide jumping with the shorty to close this one out. A round that should have been PRX's. They will just about get it. I'm starting to doubt myself there.
If they lost 2 rounds to time with that close, that would have been madness. But unfortunately, the ring around the rosy, the only man falling down in this case was Happy Way. Nice shot from Raga. In fact, an excellent round from him in general. making this one competitive. I feel like Noman actually walking further into that shock dart rather than away from it, but you understand the power.
Kenapa jadi kalah?
Nice attempt, very low by round, and Happy Way definitely.
I think he was doubting it as well.
Well, he has just watched
Itu kabel apa anjir yang putih?
0.02, so you can kind of understand why he's nervous, but not quite as close.
The flashback's definitely hitting hard there.
Yeah, XLG.
6-4. XLG they've called a timeout here on their attack side. That's their first one used, and indeed the first one of this map. It has been a pacey set of rounds. I've liked, as you've said, the direct approach. Even here, they had sheriffs, they had a bookie. We started out, it doesn't look too good, and it comes down to a 1v1 with
mixed it up a lot
second.
as well. I think that's what, whenever I see a team that can only like dive or only do executes, I'm like, okay, this is an average team with maybe great coaching staff, but it feels like a lot of the sort of slower rounds with mid-rounding, I've been impressed by XLG, and you take away the pistol and the follow-up, and this is an incredibly close match. The problem, though, is now they are in a case of this ends 6-6, you go into the second half, you're happy. If this ends 8-4, I think most people will have a lot of faith in the attack side of PRX to be able to close this one out.
Well, touching base as well before we get back into the round, just on Happy Way, someone you highlighted as he had a tough, and the desk highlighted, had a tough map previously, and look at him now, 11-7. He's been there on this attack side in the previous round, almost ended up winning it out on time in the 1v3.
Nice wall, nice wall, nice wall.
Well, Rarg is going to wait for his teammates to break that wall open. It's going to limit how
slownya
far
Kak
he can barely
slownya Sagi tuh bisa nge-slow ultinya Yoru nggak sih? Nggak bisa ya?
Fury coming through, fired in deep from something, clearing out these close corners on the site, not finding any tags, but delaying the push.
It didn't really allow for much space to get back in either from the side of PRX. They're waiting to move as a unit. Batman does have ult, but unless they really need this space, it's going to be tough. The Vigo's a little bit ahead. They were still setting up utility on the remaining players, and No Man has been able to take that close contact,
kalau masih bisa menang sih,
put them into spot, and especially
gila
with
banget.
Forsaken coming in on this flank, he's managed to get past the trip. That's why nobody's looking in this direction. If this smoke fades, he might just have himself at least one freebie, but he's looking for more. In fact, he's going to take it all! Forsaken, a one-man retake! And another on the board for PRX.
Holy shit!
Shrouding his steps to great effect. He made it past that trap. As you said, camera placed deep on the site. They're worried about the retake from Market. They're worried about the contact for the player over on that box and backside. And instead, he smokes main, so they think, well, he's obviously not coming from here. They want to block this line of sight.
Gila banget, Cok.
And the timing could not have
Gila
been
banget, Cok.
That round was forsaken
Emang
for
dulu,
XLG.
pokoknya kalau udah sampai PRX jangan kasih main. Wow, chill bro, chill Susanto. Gila, pokoknya kalau main apa PRX tuh ya jangan kasih main si Jason anjing si Forsaken, Cok. Udah, Cok. Rata anjir. Gila ini orang. Gila.
This is where the last round really
Pala
given
semua
a
itu
little
tadi,
bit of
Cok.
wiggle room. Well, we've said that it's been a closer affair than maybe expected, but if it ends 2-0, ends 2-0, they'll still be yet to win a map
Gila.
at a VCT international event. Maybe after how close the first
Dia
one
tadi
seemed,
pinter,
they
Cok.
might
Dia
feel a
nungguin
little bit
smoke-nya
hard
hilang
done
dulu
by that,
anjir.
but it won't change a thing. Already you can see some of the vulnerabilities, and more worryingly, it's that showstopper Viper's Pit on the other side. Like, there's so much to play with in this final round of the half.
Oh, the showstopper! That's unbelievable! XLG put it all into this, a round that can correct the wrongs of this half, but that has come falling apart. An explosive entrance into B main from Jing.
Nggak mau kalah anjir, gila.
Doubling the score of their opponents in that first
Tipikal Jing ya, dia tuh weh Alex full senyum bos, Alex full senyum bos, Alex mode full senyum bos. Tipikal Jing ya, harus Rosa ulti dulu, harus Rosa ult dulu 3 kali, habis itu ulti keempatnya baru dapet 3. Nggak duo kumuan bro. Gila bager, gila bager. Anjing, berapa menit? Pantes lama ya halftime-nya ya. Anjir, 1,5 menit coy. 1,5 menit apa 2 menit? Gue harus mastiin dulu guys kalau suaranya aman, suara streaming gue.
Welcome back, folks. The halftime concluded, and it's time to get back into the game as we look at the Coinbase Econ report for our first half. And, well, it has to be said, PRX, they should be leading in terms of the stats, 8-4 up.
Yeah, for sure. It is. It's been one of those games where there's been a lot of crazy things, and a lot of it happened just in the last couple of rounds. If you've just joined us, you've missed a lot. I think we had a 0.02 spike exploding with almost an ace for Forsaken. He then decided, okay, I'm just going to stick to the 4Ks for today, come back behind and eliminate the whole opposing team in a retake. And then the next round, Jing decided to get 3 with a showstopper at the very beginning of it and end it before it even began. For XLG, this now comes down to a play of resilience. Like, can you turn the tide?
Suara
in-game-nya.
In-game-nya. Ya bener, suara game-nya.
A loss here. PRX skyrocketing into the lead, a 9-4, probably 10 on the board.
Bisa naik situ ya, gue nggak pernah dong naik situ, Cok.
While XLG trail.
Tapi risky move sih. Kalau nggak ada teman yang nge-backup.
Similar to what PRX did. 3 players, walkabouts on mid, 1 late towards A, but it's pressure on Happyway. He can't overextend and go down. Just falls back. Looks to punish anyone over aggressing and hopes that this flank can find a lot of value. But PRX look like they want to play aggressive.
Udah ngasih son gila kali ya.
Block off one avenue and then try and pressure the other. The only thing they really need to worry about is the flank, because they've sectioned everything else off.
Bro.
Completely the wrong way. They've been foiled by their own plot. But there's still a couple of players standing. Jing, Forsaken, not in the best of positions to try and deny this, but that time is already ticking. Only somebody just getting onto the spike. They need to try and wrap back around, and that's exactly what Forsaken will do in this match. This man could do no wrong.
Jago banget nih orang anjir. Itu sih tadi last man-nya kalau nggak kepala. Kalah PRX. Kalau nggak headshot kalah tadi, Cok. Itu kepala nggak sih? Bentar. Palo ya dia. Nggak kelihatan jelas, Cok.
All I'm gonna say is,
wait, chill bro.
If he keeps this sort of performance of the entire tournament, I think he's gonna be dual wielding by the end. This man knows how to put up MVP performances, and well, map number 1. He always said that the agent he'd never played was Brimmy. He started playing the Brimmy, and it didn't look fantastic. But
tapi kalau yang kalau PRX yang lain pada trash talk kayaknya nggak terlalu masalah ya, cuman kalau udah Santi yang trash talk, wah itu sih. Itu maksudnya TP apaan tuh tadi? Maksudnya TP apaan tuh?
Solid victories on that side versus Sentinels, Fnatic, T1 more recently, and it was a defensive side defeat when they struggled versus Zeta. Everything is
Gila,
set
4 orang coy.
this map.
What's a good stack from XLG.
Serius nih.
4 players on the B side, 2 of them with sheriffs. The other on the polar opposite of where this hit's coming through. A lot of players from PRX though covering this plant. They've got numbers.
Something punya Vandal cok dibeliin Jason kok.
Over the wall and it looks like a lot of the danger already dealt with. Nomad traded out, and that's really the story of this take. Even if one player lands that first shot, PRX flooding in like this, they've got the numbers to back it up. Finally, it will be divided close and 10-4 on the line. But this was not the round. XLG were fighting
perang mulu cok. Musuh tinggal 1 di pick loh.
Rifles in play.
Heran gua.
Both sides.
Yeah.
Musuh tinggal 1 loh. Kok musuh tinggal 1 loh? Davanya masih nge-pick anjing.
I also think this is the point you'll make a lot of the time when it comes to Sage. Like there's been critique a lot through history of the Sage, but one thing it gives you, especially on a map like this with a lot.
Orang-orang kok bisa yang ngelihat kayak gitu ya? Gua nggak bisa aja sumpah deh.
And that's about as free as a kill as you're ever gonna get. Because let's be real,
Palas kecil itu.
teams that play with the Sage, okay. A very aggressive early start to the round, but it is Noman. But impressed so far with him on the Neon. And he started off strong again.
Well, yeah, it's Noman and Jing both trying to get that early contest for this corner. And even with the Boombot backing him up, Jing can't get it done. Forsaken, I think, heard that cam activate. Certainly now did. He knows it's there. He's calling for it. And we see the pings that he wants to walk on through. Has to catch a timing.
Wah, kameranya sih gila sih.
TP will be heard. He'll be seen walking through. Nice shot by Noman yet again, delivering.
Wah, ke-distract anjir.
That's a wonderful punish. What is going on with something here? And a swing from Noman that gets punished. Something's got 3. And I think Divai is about to go down. He's trapped in the corner with a sliver of HP. But in comes his old buddy.
Oh, nice cover.
Here to save the day is more than fast. An ace from something. An XLG from 1 foot in the grave to bury deep behind round after round of PRX success.
Jago. PRX jago coy.
Because I feel like there were 2 players in elbow. And I don't really understand how he's walked out of it alive. Oh, they just isolated. Okay, fair enough. He gets 2 bites of the cherry. It's incredibly clean, though. An absolute headshot machine throughout the round. And I don't even know if he reloaded in the middle of all of that.
Pala semua, coy.
It was always going to be one of them, you felt like, to take the first ace of the tournament. And something will be there. Mentioned maybe Forsaken looking for another bracelet. Maybe he's looking for one that goes with
lalu ya spotlightnya ya. Something Jadon Jing.
And a timeout for XLG.
Tapi Batman sama Davai sih juga jago banget. Kemarin Davai menyala banget, cok. Di Pacific kemarin nggak sih? Gue lupa. Kemarin apa di ini ya?
Round 15, you probably should have won, but you get aced. Like, what are you going to say? Oh, we need to play get together a little bit more.
11-4 jir. Perasaan tadi tipis dah.
It's crazy that you retired as a coach in 2020. Or was it 2021?
I didn't say retired. I'm still open to offers.
Oh, okay.
I'll evaluate in the off-season.
Maybe when Alliance come back, you'll have another job.
I think that's the only way. Well, I'm happy where I'm at for now. Let's put it that way. I think I'm better suited. Hopefully. But for PRX, 11 rounds on the board. XLG in a position where this is really a rock and a hard place. Do you fully invest now? Do you wait? They're going to come in with 2 Guardians, mostly keeping some credits for the next. Nice opening from
nice smoke sih itu sih.
Be a relatively easy round.
Itu sih nice smoke sih itu sih.
The main punches that they're packing, full blinded up. Patman still looked like he was close to taking that kill.
Yeah, that's a pretty hefty upgrade for Noman as well.
Ya nggak kena dong.
Willing to risk it, but also Forsaken's been caught TPing. This is putting them in a good spot. Bear in mind, there's spike plant here for Divide would get him his ultimate online and likely bring back someone who's terrifying if it even gets to that point, because they've already got an advantage.
Yeah, worth putting it in obviously in this position. If something can fade back, this is where you'll see your solo play in main. most of the time. Hunter's Fury for post plan, but no, they want to fight. Of course they do. This is PRX. We're talking about
Wah, di-reload.
what's going on? Is that fight? The fight closes it out. That came down to a 1v1. They needed a 3K and a res to get it across the line, but you know what? A round's a round. 12-4 now for
Dava lagi aktif banget ya orangnya.
There's so much I hate about this.
Lagi aktif banget sih.
It was just like, at this point, you can feel like they are just vibing with how aggressive they're being. TP into the side.
Ini Ron apa sih ini?
Nothing alongside it.
Ini Ron apa sih?
Complete and utter whiff, running into a smoke in between a wall, so there's only the tires of angles.
Tenang Alek, tenang Alek, tenang Alek.
Smile if ever I've seen one.
Oke, GG sih, udah sih.
Yeah.
Well, here's
and it's popped Hunter's Fury immediately.
It's an early one, and it's for Sapa.
Waduh,
On the back of the chaos, Viva good for the trade, and Noman doing the same. Numbers light on the A site. Noman's the last point of defense, so he'll fall back. Won't continue the aggression. While the rotate had come through, Viva, who started over here towards A, went back to take that kill.
Literally tim yang masih pakai Sage cuy.
And they're comfortable now.
PRX udah nggak ada, jadi pakai
deep control coming in from Noman. There's nothing on mid. They weren't looking. They weren't walkabouts. So the B sites where the hit.
Kayaknya kemarin gue lihat di Icebox ada yang pakai Sage ya, cuma gue lupa siapa.
They're the ones that have a chance to keep their team
PRX kalau nggak salah.
Cage immediately used. Going through all of this utility.
Tapi bukan VCT ya nggak sih?
Feels like a little bit of a risk. Paranoia even being thrown through as well. So they're going to know that there's a couple of players here at least. Curious to see if
Bisa lah,
PRX
menang lah.
still opt to actually execute in this direction. They're throwing in more utility. Boombot to clear close.
35 seconds. Now we're limited on options. We gotta go. The spams through the smoke. They'll take down Devi in the choke point. The shock dart's fantastic, and the swings are even better. XLG with a round win. Still trailing by 7. But they got to take this comeback one step at a time.
That's a good round from them. Something to note as well is it really does feel like the Sage wall, how far you can get it now, actually makes things really interesting, because Devi put that wall in from inside base. Like, he was just like, I might as well give it a go, just try and give us a little bit of extra space, but it feels like it goes incredibly far. I don't mind the buff though, because I feel like a lot of the aspects of what people using this work before were basically boosting themselves up. Brings a slight bit of tactical element to it. Well, a weak buy, but potentially a much faster one. I like the kill trips though.
Great trip position
Kiri.
indeed. It's a little unexpected. Jing hit
Anjir, di flick dong ultinya. What the fuck?
Jing revealed in the corner, but he's got backup now as they start to flip back out. No man looking for market control as a deep.
What a dodge, man.
Attempted, but there might not be anyone left to flank.
GG.
Jing's already got 3.
He's still going.
Coconut's being watched on the flank as Jing looks for his 4th. He won't find it, but they'll clean up anyway. 13-5, 2-0. PRX looking lights out on the second map as they claim their win to open up.
Tapi nggak terlalu neko-neko ya di Sunset. Biasanya di Sunset ada gebrakan-gebrakan baru PRX. Ini nggak ada ya.
And in map number 1, seeing both Jing and something still performing to that degree. I will say
good game.
I feel like there are silver
Nice try XLG, nice try. Lawan lu udah raja terakhir bro, nggak bisa sih. Tim raja terakhir bro, susah.
There's going to be more opportunities because not everybody plays as manic and as crazy as a PRX does. Nonetheless, it is the expected result. We're one of our top-seeded teams coming into the tournament.
Well played,
and well, I don't think anybody will want to match up against how they're currently playing, especially some of the stuff Forsaken is doing in the clutches.
Yeah, we saw signs of life, sparks of hope from XLG, but it is PRX coming in as the favorites and playing like it, especially on map number 2. They were a little slower to start in the first, but they found their rhythm by the end.
Ikut foto dulu, Cok. Ikut foto.
Match them on their own playstyle. They mixed it up. They didn't make this easy, but we saw just how deep the bench of individual skill goes on this.
Oke, terima kasih ya Bang Kameramen. Terima kasih.
We've seen a 1v4 clutch. Like, it's been an enjoyable series. I think most would have come in and expected that this would just be bullying, a bit like map number 2, but I think the XLG have shown they could probably do some damage though.
Des PRX pour une interview, something come here. I need to speak to you about this first win in Paris. So first of all, bravo, congratulations. And the first question I wanted to ask you is, this was the first match, but we already
Alex kan dari Alex Prancis ya, Alex ya.
So who impressed you, let's say, in the XLG team?
For me, the most impressed player, obviously, it's Farga because he is my close friend. So yeah, and overall we start slow and bind, and I guess it's just like bound to happen because we came from Korea, jet lag and stuff. I mean, overall, it's nice to win the first game.
Yeah, we could see that definitely. Donc finalement, qui t'a impressionné chez XLG? C'était le premier match, mais on a cliqué des deux côtés. Et ben j'ai envie de dire, Arga, c'est un pote à moi, j'étais trop content de l'affronter. On était un peu slow sur balle, on avait un peu le temps de prendre le rythme, on est aussi un peu jet-lagué par rapport à la Corée. Mais voilà, toujours très content de gagner forcément. You know, an AIM champion, MVP from stage 2 with that gold keyboard, winning Toronto and stuff. So I wanted to know, like, do you keep on setting like such high standards individually on yourself, or does it matter less?
Ada interview nggak di Indo?
When you have such a great team.
I mean, I don't really think we have pressure after we won Toronto in stage, just because like we also understand another team scared of us because we are playing well and
so I wanted to know, like, do you keep on
stage? We show it, and then yeah, there is no much pressure.
Pas de pression. Du coup, la question, c'est est-ce que tu continues de te mettre un peu la pression individuellement? Est-ce que tu sens que tu as besoin de carry avec cette équipe, ou à l'inverse, c'est plutôt le team play qui prime et bah il dit, moi la pression, je m'en fiche un petit peu, on gère ça, on est en équipe, les gens commencent à avoir peur de nous et c'est ça qui est le plus important. Thank you so much, Ilya, for your time. I wish you the best of luck for the next match. On souhaite bonne chance à Ilya pour son prochain match. And we're gonna discover in a few minutes who's gonna win between Sentinels.
Habis ini Giant X sama Sentinel ya.
Bang, that's what we're like alternator. I kill one, you kill one, bro. I kill one, I heal you, bro.
3K doang bangga anjir.
No man, stand up. God, -60.
Jadi disuruh bangun stand up.
I'm healing, killing.
Dape aktif banget ya. Dape lagi aktif banget coy. Buset.
Ya.
Gak ada interview kah?
Bestie. Makanya berarti tuh berdirinya kagak personal itu.
Kagak. Ada interview nggak sih Indo?
Soalnya kan tumben banget kecentilan. Iya, tumben banget si Santik tuh kecentilan loh.
Yang begini tau gak sih, yang begini.
Ternyata bestie sini bestie. Kan tapi menurut gua SLG sebenarnya flow-nya ini agak mirip kayak di game yang pertama.
Besok siapa coy?
Hold banget.
Besok NRG sama EDG. Wih, ini kayaknya seru nih.
Harus menangin first line karena kalau lu
sama
first line kalah
PRX.
sama PRX ya udah, semuanya serba nanggung, semuanya serba sulit istilahnya. By aim gak ada yang bisa lu bahas lagi karena dua-duanya juga sama-sama nembak, tapi permasalahannya untuk SLG adalah yang tadi gue mention. Mereka bisa manfaatin kesempatan ketika PRX-nya lagi nggak gitu nembak, makanya mereka bisa colong poin lumayan. Tapi ketika PRX udah mulai menyala satu persatu playernya, something yang tadi awalnya jadi mas-mas biasa, mas-mas something, mas-mas nge-wave,
itu mana
mas-mas nge-wave juga dibantu juga sama
masuk ya.
Tadi juga ada momen
kocak
nge-wave-nya. Begitu Forsaken sudah mulai panas, Forsaken sudah step up, domino effect berjalan, dan apa yang dibawa oleh Jason itu lebih dari sekedar impact sih. Dia bawain crucial momennya, dia bikin rondenya itu jadi mudah sekali, multiple killnya yang
masih main ya,
yang pada akhirnya ngebawa momentum untuk
si
PRX sampai XLG itu keteteran, Re.
Iya, karena memang kalau udah manusia ini nyala banget ya,
ada interview kagak nih.
Dengan apa yang gue bahas tadi di pre-game, semuanya terjadi. Semuanya terjadi sesuai dengan data. First half-nya nggak dapat, selesai sudah. Dan betul saja dari 8-4 itu bener-bener wah, terus beruntun poin yang didapetin sama PRX. Apalagi banyak momentum gila yang didapatkan oleh PRX.
Ya, karena kunci lu ngelawan PRX, kunci lu nge-pressure PRX itu bikin mereka kena lose round beruntun. Karena kadang-kadang juga kita masih ngelihat PRX itu gak bisa handle pressure di tengah-tengah in-game. Mereka gampang sekali crumbling, dan reset di tengah-tengah gamenya lumayan sulit. Tapi sebuah game awal yang menurut gue luar biasa panas luar biasa menarik sekali untuk tadi yang udah kita saksikan dan hitungannya kayak
udah waiting room nih.
Gue nggak expect se-chaos ini sih sebenarnya.
Bro, it's like PRX is playing unranked in champion. What are they on something with the S?
Kita nggak expect ya XLG juga bisa bawain tempo yang cepat yang ngikutin PRX, tapi kelihatan. Menurut gue di awal-awal buy
gimana interviewnya, Cok? Nggak ada interview kah?
Masih coba untuk nge-respect XLG dengan cara ngikutin cara main mereka, coba ngebaca mereka. Setelah itu udah lepas banget, apalagi di map 2 bener-bener no respect sih. Jadi kayak ya nice try untuk XLG, tapi ya memang ekspektasi dan beban sekarang ada di mereka. Karena seperti yang gue bilang tadi, storyline-nya adalah sekarang China yang harus menahan dan mempertahankan world title mereka. Karena mereka kan emang champions of champions gitu.
Ya, tapi kita bisa lah ngobrol-ngobrol dikit-dikit sama PRX,
nah, ini,
ya kan?
Bisa ya?
Bisa dong. Val Esports ID selalu bisa, boy. Kita panggilkan. Gue pengen interview sama Jason aja deh.
Coba.
Jason.
Hello.
Jason.
Son.
Oh, Jason.
Mantap kali Jason, the GOAT. Congrats sebelumnya tadi opening match. Banger sekali. Tapi gue pengen tanya pendapat lo. Apa yang lo rasakan dan lo punya konklusi sendiri nggak akan si XLG setelah tadi dua game lo main sama mereka?
Sebenarnya di map pertama kita expect mereka bakal pick bind dari awal, dan tapi kita kayak
bukannya nge-pick bind
kayak lebih jet lag masih kan di Paris, beda jam. Terus schedule-nya juga susah, terus kita coba kayak yaudah nikmatin aja. Soalnya kita tim lawan mereka juga selalu menang, jadi kita kayak confidence.
Oke. Oh, udah pernah scrim ya sama mereka
Selain jet lag di first half tadi, apa sih yang ngebuat kalian nih kayak struggle banget untuk ngelawan si XLG? Kayak kurang nyaman aja loh.
First half-nya lagi?
Iya, first half loh, jadi 6 sama.
Mungkin ya yang tadi kayak dibilang, mungkin kita kayak terlalu defensif, kayak terlalu ke bawah permainan dari mereka, gameplay mereka kayak masih kayak nervous dikit lah. Ya.
Hah? Mau nervous apaan lagi lo? International udah sering. Udah nervous apaan?
Masih ada.
Harus just do it dulu.
Oh.
Ya. Jason Marin nanti dulu soalnya dia kan fans MU kan, jadi kayak tulus ya nggak Jo? Ya nggak soal, dia kan fans MU kan.
Pantes mental kuat ya fans MU aja.
Kemarin dia jadi football reporter by the way. Jadi mungkin trigger sound dari gua tadi, kita ngeliat lu ada play yang gila banget, quad kill, lu trigger disiplin. Bisa lu breakdown nggak tadi apa yang terjadi di pikiran lu dan bagaimana cara lu bisa nge-pull off quad kill tadi di main sunset tadi kalau nggak salah.
Sebenarnya gue timing TP aja sih, gue TP sebelum mereka kayak denger gue TP. Terus mereka kayak assume mungkin Omen bakal kedengeran kalau TP kan. Dan timing gue bagus, terus kayak kebetulan aja mereka posisinya kayak kebuka semua, jadi kayak gue bisa bunuh semua.
Dia nunggu smoke sih, dia tadi nunggu smoke abis sih.
Tapi susah sebenarnya.
Susah.
Soalnya kalau masuk smoke justru malah ini resiko banget.
Tapi gue pengen nanya, mau ngomong-ngomong soal si
gue tadi udah mikir, wah ini jangan-jangan
tadi kan si
masuk smoke nih dia nih.
Yang dia respect.
Untung nggak jadi tadi kan, habis itu smoke-nya hilang. Yang lihat dulu siapa yang di set kan, dapat satu, habis itu nge-shoot Cypher, yang di stair, terus backsetnya nge-pick, dapet gila 4 kill bro.
Kalau menurut gua di XLG kayaknya Happyway sih.
Happyway, kenapa tuh?
Ya dia mungkin menurut gua M-nya lebih tajam kayaknya daripada Raga. Kalau menurut gua ya. Kalau di Champion menurut gua yang
banyak nih.
Mungkin
kalau nggak cuma satu nggak apa-apa sih, lo sebut lebih banyak
Fnatic,
sih.
Alphager, tapi sekarang juga ada Aspas kan. Menurut gua, ada Demon One juga.
Juga.
Nah kan, ada back semua
mereka. Ya.
Lu udah sempat sparring belum sama DRG?
Udah sama Demon One. Dia Tofrek Demon One.
Oh iya. Berarti masih solid tuh
Demon
One.
Masih gila, masih kuat kah? Masih kuat.
Bahaya nih. Tapi ya udah,
Demon One sih kalau prime sih gila.
Obrolan kita. Mungkin nanti kalau misalnya ada kesempatan kita bakal ngobrol lagi. Tapi sebelumnya sekali lagi congrats buat first win-nya Jason. Selamat beristirahat, semoga janteknya cepet hilang. Kita ketemu lagi mungkin di sesi interview berikutnya. Bye-bye.
Bye Jason.
Bye-bye.
Ngeri-ngeri sedap, Cok. Ngeri-ngeri sedap aja.
Kemarin tuh dia tuh jadi kayak football reporter gitu. Gue kaget lihat lagi scroll kan, terus tiba-tiba dia tuh ngeberitain
kayaknya nggak bakal nonton si Giant X sama Sentinel kan, enggak.
first match di hari pertama VCT Champions Paris benar-benar luar biasa banget. Dan kita nggak cuma punya itu aja untuk di hari ini. Masih ada Giant X melawan Sentinel di match yang kedua. Tapi sebelum itu izinkan kami break
sejenak. Kayaknya gue bakal live lagi ntar kalau
semua tentunya. Jadi
kalau nggak PRX RRQ udah RRQ ntar. RRQ kayaknya gue ikut watch party ding. RRQ kayaknya ntar gue ikut watch party orang aja sih. Nggak tahu dah. Ya udah ya, kayaknya gue udah dulu stream gue buat malam hari ini ya, buat nobar PRX versus Ax lagi XLG. Kayaknya next gue ya antara RRQ sama PRX lah, ntar stream kita nobar lagi. Mungkin ya itu aja sih stream gue buat malam hari ini ya. Thank you banget buat yang udah mampir ya, terutama buat Yuban, Bambang sama Erlim ya. Thank you banget. Oh ya, jangan lupa like videonya kalau kalian suka, dan jangan lupa subscribe juga, dukung terus channel biar gue makin semangat buat stream dan bikin konten ya. Thank you dan sampai jumpa di video gue live gue selanjutnya. Bye bye, see you next stream. Mana